Hello everyone, Boone here. Welcome back to Boone Builds. I'm really excited. In this video, I am going to take a look at the brand new LEGO Colosseum. You can see the big box sitting right here over my shoulder. We're gonna take a look at the Colosseum. I built it and then I took it apart, and I am also going to start building a mock out of the pieces from the Colosseum. This is an alternate build. It's all happening right here on Boone Builds. Hey everybody, welcome back to Boone Builds, where my goal is to inspire creativity among fans of LEGO just like you. It is very early in the morning and I was up very late. In fact, I just got up from like a 35-minute power nap because I was trying to sort the pieces. Here, I'll get this thing started here. So we're taking a look at the Colosseum. It was just announced. It is coming. Here is a photo that I took of it during the 24 hours that I had it assembled. I took a few days to assemble the model. It has over 9,000 pieces. It is incredibly detailed. There's some really incredible stuff about the Colosseum, but I have never been to the Colosseum, and I wanted to do something different with it. But I will talk just a little bit about the Colosseum here. It is coming on November 27th. It will be available from Lego.com and Lego stores. It has 9,036 pieces. I think it took me part of, I've worked on it for parts of 3 days. It's got some little trees, some micro scale cars, but look at the detail on the inside of the model. It's just really incredible. I just want to thank everyone: Rip Rickham, Ash and Flash, Robbie, Lego Builder, Brian is here. I saw Aqua Mike, I saw Dave Morgan, I saw Brett Hooper. Vincent is here. Thank you all so much for watching. So the Colosseum is incredible. One thing that I want to note about the Colosseum is that it is an incredibly repetitive build. One of the benefits to that is you end up with this awesome looking recreation of the Colosseum from Rome. One of the downsides of the repetitive nature of the build is that you build the same things over and over again. So here's a little bit starting here of a time-lapse build of the Colosseum itself. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. It's going to be down there in the right-hand corner. Maybe I could make that just a little bit bigger. So you'll be able to watch the time-lapse build of the Colosseum itself while I am beginning to build the, what am I going to call it here? I'm calling this Castello I have a name for this. I came up with a cool name for this. Castello Fortificato is what I'm calling this. Brett Hooper gave me the idea. I've been working on this digitally for a few weeks, and Brett Hooper gave me the idea of giving it an Italian name because the Colosseum is, of course, in Italy. And this is just a fun mock that I created using only pieces from the Colosseum. So this is a true alternate build. If you end up owning the Colosseum, you won't need any extra pieces to build the Castello Fortificato. You see, the name is very new to even me. I'm still learning it. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's see here. I'm going to go back to this screen, and I want to make sure you can see that time-lapse build. We'll go back just a hair here, and you can watch the time-lapse build of the official Colosseum. All right, but on this screen, I'm going to get started with the castle. Here we go. This is a new piece that I've never seen in a set before. I think maybe they might be in some of the art sets as well, but I'm just going to dive in. There's the whole base of the, why can't I think of the word Colosseum? It's probably because I got 35 minutes of sleep. But here we go. So I had the Colosseum assembled yesterday morning, and I wanted to take it apart so that I could start building my castle. And started taking it apart sometime in the early part of the day yesterday. And I completely underestimated the amount of time that it would take to disassemble and sort the pieces from a set that has over 9,000 parts. It took so long. I spent most of my day sort of prepping for this live stream, and I was up until, I think I went to bed at 5:10 a.m. and I set my alarm for 5:50 a.m. So I had 40 minutes to try to shut my eyes and get a little bit of sleep. But anyway, looks like a lot of love for Ash and Flash in the chat there. Thanks for joining, buddy. Appreciate it, man. Ash and Flash and I joined the LEGO Ambassador Network at the exact same time, and we even had the same mentor, Dan, from Between the Bricks in New Zealand. So let's see. Rick says, wow, there's some really great pieces in that set. Yes, there are. Aubrey, welcome. Glad you're here. I'm going to try to cruise through this thing. I'm going to say right now this is probably going to be part 1 of this build, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all the way through the build in one sitting, but we'll see. I might. If you're just joining us, you at the bottom right hand of the screen, you're watching the time-lapse build of the official Colosseum set that was just announced today. I am using the parts from the Colosseum set to build an alternate model that I've been working on, and I'm just getting started here. So far, the alternate model has been just a digital model. And so it's exciting for me to be able to start putting bricks together on this model that I've been working on digitally for a lot of days. The base of my castle takes quite a bit of inspiration from the base of the Colosseum. The Colosseum has a real nice display edge around the bottom, and you can see in the bottom right-hand corner on that time-lapse build, I'm starting to put the base together on that. And I wanted to do something similar, but also something different. So in my mock here that I'm building, there is a similar base, but instead of having a nice clean display edge, it is sort of like a rocky pedestal. And you may have caught a glimpse of that in the images I showed at the beginning of the stream. Let's see here. I want to make sure I'm putting things together right. So I was up late trying to sort out the pieces for this build, and I didn't even finish. I didn't even get finished sorting out the pieces. Like I said, sorting 9,000 pieces, over 9,000 pieces, it just took longer than I anticipated. So, you know, I'm just going to get as far as I can here. You can see over here, I've got a bin on my table right over here, and that has a bunch of bags of things that I sorted, and it also includes a lot of what is left of unsorted brick from the Colosseum. So I think I've got most of that rocky pedestal sorted out, that I can get quite a ways here before I actually have to start digging through that bin, but I am happy to do that. So let's see. Brett Hooper says, somebody send Boone some caffeine. Yeah, I'm gonna need it, man. It's gonna be wild. But you know what? I've got a nice big iced tea here. I just filled it up before I came out to the studio, so I think I'm ready to go for a while. I'm gonna have quite a bit of adrenaline popping here. Let's see. Robbie says the Colosseum has the most pieces, but they're smaller. So how does it compare in weight to the other biggest sets? Weight. I mean, the box. I got to tell you, I didn't weigh it. I didn't weigh the box before I opened it up. I would say that the weight of the box felt comparable to me, to the best of my recollection, to the weight of the Millennium Falcon box. You are correct. These pieces are smaller. So, of course, this set, it does not have the same size of the Millennium Falcon, which I believe was the previous largest by parts count. I would say Millennium Falcon is still going to be the largest, like, display piece. You know, biggest all around. But you know, the Colosseum, it has I think what, close to 2,000 more pieces. Yeah, Kavi, I mentioned just a few minutes ago, the Colosseum is an awfully repetitive build. There are some interesting things in the Colosseum that make it a bit less repetitive than it could be. And, you know, one of the sets that I'll compare it to probably over and over again is the, the Taj Mahal. And the Taj Mahal is a set that I believe is the most repetitive set I've ever built. And the thing about the Taj Mahal is you really just have like all of this repetition over and over and over again. So the nice thing about the Colosseum is it does have a lot of variation from section to section of the Colosseum. However, even though there is variation, you know, no two sections of the Colosseum are exactly the same. Every section has a lot of similarities to every other section. So, you know, it can get a little bit repetitive. Even Danny, my wife, was helping me take apart the Colosseum so that I could build the castle here, and she was like, you know, I can tell just by taking it apart that it's a pretty repetitive build. All right, so I am building up the first layer of the rock pedestal for my castle build. And for those joining, I'll pop back over to the castle pictures real quick. So this is an alternate build that I'm working on for pieces from the Colosseum. And I'm just getting started on the build right now. The bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you should be seeing a time-lapse build of the Colosseum itself. Looks like I'm just getting out some bags there for a new step. And I can tell I'm going to run into a problem here because I didn't finish sorting last night. And there's most of this rock pedestal is going to be stuff that I've already sorted out. But I'm going to have to look for some of the 2x2 corner plates here in just a moment. I need to use quite a few of them on this section of the build. And let's see. What are those? Are those just tan? All right, here we go. So I am going, if I pull this over here a little bit, then maybe I'll just keep talking to you. I'll keep talking to you. So let me see if I can. I'm going to do some digging, everyone. Where are those? We'll do this. Got one of those here. One right here. So what's everybody doing today? Moto's here. Action Flash taking off. See you later, buddy. Thanks for the well wishes. I have a feeling he probably just finished his video and uploaded it, and that's why he's going to bed right now. That'd be my guess. Hey, April. Good to see ya. So there are a number of these. I don't know if you can see them on the screen. You probably can't see them on the screen yet. This screen here is the instructions that I made for myself, and they're not full-blown instructions, but I am developing instructions that will be available for this alternate model. You can actually find a link to a pre-sale for that in the description of this video if you're interested. But of course, the set does not come out until the 27th of November, so I won't actually be distributing those plans until that time. Okay, here's a few of these. So this is that piece I'm talking about. You see that? It's like the corner piece. Am I even focused here? Let me see. I think I could get a sharper focus on this build table. Yeah, almost, almost. There we go. There it is. Now you guys can see a little bit better what's going on there. Yeah, that's one of the hazards of taking a 35-minute nap before live streaming. I'm coming into this with a foggy head, but you know, it's all right. That's all right. April says we got Diagon Alley half built. Sweet. It's awesome. I love that build. I built that set with my daughters, and they both had a really wonderful time with it. This is much better. I feel like it's going to be so much easier for everyone to see what I'm building at home. Wish I had a little picture. I should have been streaming in Streamlabs so that I could set up a bunch of different views, because I'd like to have a little picture of what I'm building here. Whoa, Ike Grawl is here, everybody. Ike Grawl, one of my good buddies. Bum, bum, bum. I don't know how long this is going to be. I'm calling this part 1. I think I put part 1 in the video title. We'll see. We'll see how far I get. But I thought I'd get a little bit farther before I had to start digging through the unsorted parts, and I was wrong. I ran into parts very early in this build that I'm having to dig for. So I'm a little bit concerned that this part 1 is just going to take much longer to get through any reasonable amount of this build. But that's okay. You know what? I'm here. It's happening. I'm finding them. I'm finding the pieces. They're there. The interesting thing about this build, as I went through and I was using pieces from the Colosseum for my castle creation, there were some pieces that I used, I completely exhausted. Hey, Moto, do you know Ike? Ike, do you know Moto? All right. And so some pieces I completely exhausted. Some pieces I hardly used any. And the official set has how many pieces? Over 9,000 pieces. I think 9,036 pieces in the official set. And my alternate build has a little over 6,000. So, you know, it's not all of the pieces. Most alternate builds are not all of the pieces. My goal when I started creating this alternate build was to have something that was, how do I say, like over 50% of the pieces used from the official set. And so I was kind of aiming for like 4,500. I nailed the 4,500, and then I was like, well, let's see if I can hit 5,000, and then I hit 5,000, and then I just kept going. I was like, well, you know what? Like 2/3 would be better than half, so I just kept going to 6,000, and you know, partially are there things that I included in this mock that are just like trying to use pieces? Yes, but my hope is that it doesn't feel that way for the most part. All right, I think if I can find one more piece here, then I will be cruising on with the rest of the next steps of this build. And it is a 1x1 gray plate. Okay, am I good with this? I think I'm good with this step. I'm moving on to the next stage. Oh, and I need to find a bunch more of those. Let's see. There are a bunch of brackets. So here's some stuff that I borrowed from the design of the Colosseum. But again, the base of my castle build is much smaller than the Colosseum. But my castle is going to end up being like twice as tall as the Colosseum. So it's sort of like compressing the whole build down and squeezing it up in a way. But it's a completely different building. So anyway, I hope you all appreciate it when it's done. I certainly am looking forward to having it sitting around here. Let's see. So I've got, how many of those do I need to find? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It looks like 12, 13, 14, and I already have one, so I need 13. Okay, here we go. There's one. Oh boy. Did I sort any of those out already? There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. How annoying is the rustling of the bricks when I look through this bin? Is it bad or is it fine? Let me know in the chat. There's that. Okay, I'll put a few of these on here while I wait to hear from you guys about that. So the bottom of this is sort of, you know, a bunch of Technic bricks that are stuck together with Technic pins, but they're reinforced by plates that bridge their edges. Okay, Spellgracious says it's fine. Albasunu says it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I get that. All right, cool. So like a necessary evil, you might say. Probably I'm going to need another one of those in there, a few more of those. I know that once I get to doing the rocks around the edges of the pedestal, I've got all of those parts sorted out. So it's not going to, I'm going to be able to hit a stride here in a few minutes and really just cruise along with making some progress. But right now, I'm looking for some of the pieces that I didn't get around to sorting. That's fine. You know, this is a LEGO stream, right? Like, if I gotta do some sorting on the LEGO stream, why not? Why not, right? Okay, here we go. So this goes in the corner here. And we've got this. Just reinforcing the bottom of this grid of Technic bricks. This, you know, is similar to how the Colosseum, the official build, does it. Look at that. I think I just got as many pieces as I need for this. Right here. What did I do? Does that go there? Or, yeah, we'll put that there. And there. Another cool thing about this is, you know, this is my own creation. Did I do that wrong? I'm looking at it wrong. Okay, I had it sort of oriented to me incorrectly, but now I think I've got it sorted out. It's been a while since I've done this kind of thing. You know, designing something on the computer and then translating it to brick. Now I've got to find that bag of brackets. So you can see me sort of spin the virtual version around here, and there's a bunch of brackets that need to go on the outside of this pedestal, and here is my bracket bag. Just gonna need a bunch of brackets. But you know, I've never done an alternate build like this before, where I kind of design something trying to use a very specific set of parts. Cavi says, how long did it take to design the alternate build? I don't know. It took a while. I think I got the set in the mail. Oh, and appreciate LEGO for sending this over. I should have said that earlier in my video, but here I am. And they provided this to me so that I could share it with all of you. And they sent it over, I want to say like 3 weeks ago. and I cracked open the box, and I knew that today was the embargo, so I knew that I couldn't share any content about it until today. But I cracked open the box, and I took out the manual, the first page of the manual, and that had in the back page the parts list for this model. And so I used that parts list to create a custom parts palette in Bricklink Studio. And then I just spent, you know, I don't know, it's my hobby, right? I just spent like my free time here and there over a few weeks designing this model. It'd be hard for me to tell you how many hours I put into it. Too many, but it was fun, so it was fine. You know, it's like if you love to fish, oh, how many hours did it take you to catch that fish? Well, too many, but you had fun doing it. So, yeah. Let's see. Grawl says, dude, you're fine. Anybody who builds with Lego knows about dragging the tub. Yeah. Yeah. I would have liked to have them all sorted. But again, sorting 9,000 pieces was just going to take much longer than I anticipated. That's another thing about this hobby is I sort of always tend to underestimate how long it's going to take to do anything. You know, Danny's always trying to get me to think about how long it's going to take to do certain tasks so that we can, you know, plan things out on the calendar. And then she'll try to make schedules for me, and that's really helpful. But then she's like, what are you doing? You told me this was going to take a day or be done yesterday, and now, you know, you're still working on it. I'm like, you know, I couldn't do this without her, and at the same time, I'm not able to tell her exactly how long things are going to take. All right. Moto says, I think about how long it will take, then double it. Yeah, I should do that. It's just that, you know, part of the thing that I experience is that I don't have a lot of rhythms of like doing the same thing, the same type of project over and over again. So I often find myself in these situations where, you know, I've got a project going that is really unlike the things I've been doing recently. So it's hard for me to even make that initial estimate. Oh man, I'm so excited about this thing, you guys. I've been thinking about this for like some weeks. Brickham's Den. Hey, wait a second. Brickham's Den. Did you change, Rick? Did you change your screen name there on YouTube, or do you have two handles, or is that someone different? It looks like Rick Brickham's avatar, and it says Brickham's Den. Let's see, what do we got going on here? I just got a text message from my sister, and I'm tempted to take a look at it because she might, I don't know, maybe she's watching the stream and trying to tell me something about the stream. Bob Builds is here. He says, hey, Boone. He said, yes, I did. It's me. Cool. Who's staying up for Nebulon B tonight? I don't know. Space City Bricks. Is that on your channel? Who's building the Nebulon B tonight? There we go. All right. Here's a question for you. As I develop these plans, I'm going to make these plans available. And I'm wondering, how many pieces do you think you could stand to see on one page in each step? I know as far as official sets go, I got to come over here and look for a bunch more of these L's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Jeez. This could be like the rest of them. It might take me a few minutes to find these. So I know official LEGO sets over the years seem to have gotten, they seem to have simplified their steps, whereas in like the books are longer because there's way more steps because each step has fewer parts added to the build. And what I'm doing with this one here, there's some I'm basically adding a layer each time, roughly. And so there's going to be steps in this build today where I flip myself to the new step on the screen, and I might be adding, you know, like 20 parts or even 30 parts at a time. But if you were to download this set of instructions from me after November 27th, how many pieces do you think you'd be comfortable putting on for each step? I'd love to know. I'd love to know. I know, you know, one of my favorite sets of all times is the Black Seas Barracuda, and it's got a lot of. What am I doing here? Okay, I see. It's got a lot of steps. It's got a lot of bricks that are added in each step. Okay. This is interesting, Boone. What exactly were you doing here? I'm gonna run into those things too, like when I designed digitally, and now I'm putting it together in the physical world, where I'll go like, huh, I wonder what I did that for, and I'm sure, you know, as the build goes on, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's why I did that. One of the benefits of building digitally is you can access any part of your model at any time in the building process. You know, if I was building this, like if I was designing this physically with just the pieces, if I decided I wanted to change something inside the model later, the only choice I would have would be to take it apart and redo it. And that's how designing in the physical world goes. And, you know, that's just what we do. But one of the wonderful things about Tiggers, one of the wonderful things about building digitally is that, you know, you've got the freedom to dig down into your build and replace stuff if you need to. And especially designing something from a given set of parts, I wanted to be able to have that freedom. You know, because it's just, I didn't want to waste, you know, I didn't want to waste all of a part early on in the build and then not have access to it later. You know, I had it in my head, I had some idea of like, well, this is what I'm going to use this kind of stuff for, so I definitely want to save this stuff. You know, I want there to be like some green grass. I kind of identified early on that there was a lot of green in this build. You don't see all of it from the outside of the Colosseum because a lot of it is like used structurally inside like the base and the structure of the Colosseum. But I was like, you know what, I can grab onto that green and sort of use that as an accent color for this castle, because the Colosseum doesn't really have like an accent color, but I thought this castle would be more compelling, you know, visually, if it had some, you know, just kind of some interesting color scheme going on. So if you got to see the picture of the digital render that I created, you'll notice that green is sort of the accent color. So I didn't want to use a lot of green. I knew that ahead of time. I didn't want to use a lot of green in the structure of this thing. Okay, back to bracket patrol. Maybe I should just dump these out. I'm going to hesitate to do too much dumping during this process, or I'll just end up with like too many different piles on my workstation here. You can see in the time lapse there, I am probably about, hey, look who's this. Dave Morgan is in the stream. Hey, Dave.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, were you waiting long?
Yeah, but that's okay.
Sorry, I'm so scattered.
Yeah. I was talking with Moto about that, and we figured I mean, if I only got 35 minutes of sleep, I would be exhausted.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I have a small window here before I actually have to go do some work meetings. So I'd pop in and say hi and keep you awake.
Hey, well, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you being here. What do you, I saw you posted some pictures of can I say what you posted on the Facebook group?
Sure.
Your Jurassic Park build. What is it? The security compound, is that what it is?
It's a ranger station out. I'm not a gamer, but Bricks O'Brien might know what this is. But there's a game called Jurassic World Evolution. And James Ritzman, one of the guys that runs the Jurassic Park collab, suggested that to me as a place to get ideas. And so this is the ranger station out of that game. And there's a lot of good reference photos. And then I have a friend who actually plays the game. So he was able to get screenshots for me of whatever I needed.
That's awesome. It looks so good, man. If I had time, if you want to do a screen share, I can pop it up.
Here.
Hey, there we go. Here, I'm gonna full screen Dave for just a second. We can take a look at his build there.
Except it doesn't have the tower, which is the best part. Hold on just a second.
Oh,
I'll add the tower.
The tower.
That's my favorite part, actually.
I love the color scheme, Dave. The yellow with the two different colors of gray and a little bit of blue in there.
That's I got some sand blue grill bricks for the doors. And I think the yellow really makes it pop.
Hey, Dave, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Was my audio okay while you were listening?
Yes.
Yours
is fine.
Yours has kind of a funky breaking up thing. It just sounds like kind of I don't know, like a digital. It might be my internet having trouble with it, but I'm sure people will let us know. But I can understand everything you're saying. It's just a little bit break-up-y. But
wow, that's weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, how's it sound to anybody else?
It would be awesome if you sound perfect to everyone else. It could be my internet. Who knows?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, good. They're saying sounds fine to me. So
okay, good.
Hopefully that's the case. And let's see, what do I got going on here? That is going to be a 1 right there. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take you out of solo. So when is that? Would you call that ranger station like done, or do you still have things you want to do to it?
No, I definitely. That's what I was about to say. Is this is my first serious attempt at doing foliage, mainly because I didn't have any foliage pieces before, and now I got a bunch of them through the project support. And so I'm learning that doing foliage is not hard, but doing foliage that looks good is kind of harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah, well, I love foliage. I have far more foliage pieces like sitting in cups and bags than I've even like attempted to use. But yeah, it's, there is a difference between, I think yours looks great, but there are some people out there that are just like gifted with making foliage look incredible,
Yeah,
and
so I've gone through.
I wouldn't say that I'm one of those people. But
I've gone through 3 or 4 iterations of. Yep, I've gone through 3 or 4 iterations, assembling it, taking it apart, not liking it, doing it again, watching some videos for inspiration, and it's getting better. But yeah, like here's a giant bag of these bushes.
Yeah. Seriously, I've got bags of leaves and branches and bushes, and I had to clear them from this space. Otherwise, I'd hold mine up and show them to you too. But
yeah.
Well, that's fun. So you said you got those from through the lug?
Yeah, through a project support thing for the Jurassic Park collab.
Oh, cool.
So that was nice.
That's great. I'm really glad that that was able to work out. I think the project support is really a neat idea. I remember when I think it was James in a Portlug meeting sometime last year first brought it up, and I was like, oh, hey, that sounds kind of cool. All right, let's see. What do we got going on here? This is going to go like this. Those must just be... I just reminded myself.
Rick Brickham said, "What brand is your headset?" This is actually not a headset; it's a mod mic. So it's a separate mic that I just attached to an audio headset that I have. I think it's about $50 for the mic, and it's really clean sounding.
Let's see. Space City Bricks. I thought I saw someone just ask. Aqua Mike said, "What live stream software do you use, Boone?" Right now I'm using StreamYard. I have used Streamlabs OBS, and Streamlabs I would say is Streamlabs is more powerful than StreamYard. I'd say in some ways it's higher quality, but it also has, I don't know, it's just not quite as easy to just pop in and have a stream going as StreamYard. StreamYard is completely web-based, and it's so easy for me to have friends join my streams on StreamYard because I can just send them a link and it just StreamYard handles all of that. Whereas if I use Streamlabs, I've got to use some other system to bring people's audio and video in, like Discord or Skype or Zoom, and then it's like kind of multi-layered, right? Like I'm running one piece of software to talk to my friends, and I'm using another piece of software to stream all of our video to the web. Whereas with StreamYard handles all of that through the web browser. But I don't know. If I'm curious to know, when people ask that question, if you see any problems with what I'm doing here, I'd love to hear your feedback, and I can always think about different ways to do it. Lego David says, "You guys got the Colosseum already?" Yes. Thanks to Lego. Lego is supporting this content by providing the set. Well, Dave, I'm sorry I made you wait so long to get in.
No worries. I have a limited window here. Yep, go ahead.
I sent that email out to a few people, so I'm going to have to figure out how to pay attention to people coming in to join the stream. But,
it's all good.
It is what it is. Somebody said that earlier in the stream. It is what it is.
Yep.
I like that. I like that phrase. I've encountered people that don't like that phrase because I think they think that it like dismisses a certain level of like dedication to quality or something like that. But I think it's kind of a good philosophy of life. Like, it is what it is. It sort of like separates the things that I can do something about from the things that I can't do something about.
Yep.
What, you got any plans this weekend, Dave?
Yeah, it's kind of a busy Lego weekend. I've got the Port Lug meeting tomorrow, and then I am a member of another Lego YouTuber, and he does a private meet and greet a couple of times a month, depending on the membership tier. So I've got that, and then I've got a live video chat with another new friend that I made in Australia, a new Lego friend that I made, and I'm doing that this afternoon. So,
wow.
And in between all that, I'm going to try to work on my mocks a little bit more.
Well, good luck. I hope you have a fun weekend. I am going to be busy. I am doing this live stream for as long as I possibly can stand to do it today. And then tomorrow, I'm going to do a live stream with Mark here in the studio. Sunday, I'm going to try to assuming I can get my hands on the Ecto-1, I'm going to live stream that. And then late Sunday night, it'll actually be Monday morning our time, and I think it's Monday evening in Australia. I'm going to be on Billsy. I'm going to be on Billsy's stream, and Dan and a couple other guys are usually on that stream too, so that should be fun.
Okay. I was hoping to maybe try and catch the thing with you and Mark. That's tomorrow morning, right? Ish.
Yeah, it'll just be I just don't know exactly what time. I think it'll probably be like 9:30 or 10. He'll get here when he wants to, and we'll settle into it.
And then I was thinking I might try to head over to the Lego store on Sunday and see if I run into you.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Say hi.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how early I need to try to get there if I'm going to try to get that Ecto 1. They didn't have them in yet when I called this evening. Earlier last night. Sorry, the days are now blending together because I didn't really go to bed. But they were like, theoretically we're supposed to have them, but we don't know how many it's going to be. So I don't know. They open at 11 on Sundays.
Yeah, I think so. I think they usually get a lot of their shipments in on Friday. So if you call this afternoon, if you're not sleeping, you can probably find out.
Yeah, I think I will certainly try to call this afternoon. Okay, this is interesting. For those. Well, Dave, did you learn anything new for building while you were working on your Jurassic Park station there?
Oh yeah, definitely. Every time I do a build, I actually learned way more from the hotel that I'm building right now because it's huge. It's the backside is like 150 studs long, and trying to build floor plate assemblies that are like 25 by 150 is an interesting challenge.
Oh man, I can imagine.
For one thing, you get warping when it gets to be really wide, but also just trying to reinforce it.
Yeah. Aquamike says, does StreamYard work on phone? Yes, it does. You have to use your phone's web browser, but it does work. And I've actually had relatively decent success joining a Streamlabs stream. Sometimes what I'll do if I want to do two cameras on Streamlabs, I'm sorry, StreamYard. I'm saying Streamlabs. Did he say Streamlabs? Yeah, StreamYard. Sometimes if I want to have like two cameras on StreamYard, because I don't believe two cameras is like built-in possible on StreamYard, but I found a couple workarounds. So today you can see this camera. I'm just piping a second webcam to a screen on my computer and using the screen capture. And let's put that up there. Clears my table a little bit. But sometimes if I'm really trying to pull things together, like if I'm in a remote location and I don't have like multiple screens or something like that, I'll just use my phone as a second camera and join the StreamYard stream from my phone. And then it's like my second camera phone is just like another guest on the show. But
so Boone, check the backstage again.
Heyo! See, that's why I need someone here. Moto is here.
Hello.
How you doing, Moto?
I'm okay.
How long were you waiting to get in?
I don't know, what's the timestamp on the thing in the private chat?
Yeah. 7 o'clock, so 3 minutes.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay, well,
I was waiting about 20.
Yeah. You
oh,
waited a
geez,
long
Dave,
time.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Dave and I were having fun sending little IMs back and forth, like
how do I get his attention? I texted you. I sent you on Facebook.
It's
Wouldn't
okay.
it be
You're
funny?
tired.
Maybe
You're
that's,
really tired.
maybe that's what my sister texted me about. Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and look. I didn't look earlier. Wait. With the blanket mom crocheted for her. Nope, this is obviously about something completely random. Oh, it's just different. Oh, that's great. Here, I'll keep my
Hi, Aqua Mike, Mr. Monarch.
keep my chat up there.
Hey, Boone, how long is that time-lapse video, the finished thing? Do you know how long it recorded for? Or how long the playback is?
The playback of the time lapse that you're watching there, I think, is about 45 minutes.
That's crazy. That's
And
crazy.
I was taking a frame every 0.5 seconds. So we could do that math to figure out how long it took me to do that build, but I'm not going to be able to do it off the top of my head right now. All right, so here's a big moment. I am putting the second layer. Wait. I'm missing pieces. Uh-oh. Okay, sorry.
Abort.
Need to go back one step and add 2 more of these guys. Moto, how you been?
I've been okay.
I'm glad that I'm.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I took about. We're both so polite. We never want to talk. I took about a week off after Sir Meowslot. Got kind of toasted on that one, but I figured I've got maybe 2 weeks in November, so I should try to do a Vic Viper. Never did a Vic Viper before.
Hey, cool.
Yeah.
That's
working on the engine.
Was that you were using like some like Scala pieces or something?
Oh, for the front, I have some. I can go get it. I have some Belleville pieces I ordered from Europe.
Yeah, Belleville.
Okay.
Those Scala and Belleville are like interchangeable in my head. I have a hard time. It's like if I stop and think about it for even a moment, I know which is which, but it's very easy for me to just like interchange them.
Nearly as long as you guys, so I just kind of learn as I go.
All right, this is going to be a little bit of a trick to get this to squeeze in here, and I realize I've got a problem here. What is the problem here? I must have done something wrong a couple of steps ago. What have I done?
I tell myself that all the time.
You must have been in the hobby longer than me, Moto.
Really? No.
I've only been doing it for like 2.5 years.
Okay, let's find out.
Oh, I see what I did.
Probably.
Here we go. Simple fix.
Simple fix.
Simple fix. I got it. Now is one of the moments. Okay, should I full screen you, Moto, so you can show what you got there?
No. You should full screen yourself. This is like that's satisfying. That looks.
Yeah,
satisfying.
that is.
Oh yeah. There we go. And now I think I'm about to start cruising on. So the outside of this whole pedestal is going to be like kind of somewhat random looking rock formation. And I think I'm about ready to start working on that. So
now, do you use a mallet or the CPR move to really get it down when you're confident?
That was the CPR move, right? I don't have a whole lot of studs in there. You know, it's not like trying to get two big plates to completely stick together. I've got like just enough in there. Let me see if I can get to a point where
the crab pinch and all the specific locations to seat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm making up these names on the fly, but I don't know how to describe them. The
Sounds good to me.
CPR, the crab pinch.
So now I've got just a little bit of blue underneath the bridge. So if I move the digital model around here, you can see just a little bit of blue underneath the bridge that goes up to the front gate of the castle. And, you know, now it occurs to me that I should probably say I've gotten some questions in the pictures that I've shared on the teaser for this. About the scale of this model, and it is not minifig scale, though I think, and really it's the front gate. The front gate of the castle is far too small for like a minifigure on a horse to ride through. But I think it's bigger than micro scale.
I don't know. Those trellises, man, they're like 30, 40 feet high. If you've ever been to a castle, they're massive.
Yeah, so maybe it is micro scale.
I mean, you got to have like 4 horses to 6 horses wide when you come rolling out of that castle.
Yeah, okay. Well, then in that case, there are some like openings on the castle, like windows that are quite huge because, you know, they're just sort of like the typical, like, you know, castle windows and the archways. But, you know, there could be archways and that could be quite large. So.
Yeah,
Let's
trophy
see.
fig scale, maybe.
This is one of those moments. Yeah, and I did build a big throne. There's a throne room in one of the upper levels of this castle, and the seat of the throne is 1 stud wide. So that, I mean, you know,
yeah, that's trophy.
Could there be some scale issues? Yeah, so maybe the whole thing is trophy fig scale. I like that.
Sounds
I like that.
right.
That's what I'll say. Okay, let's see. I'm in one of those moments where I'm gonna have to think carefully about what I did here.
Well, if you want to check, I could just talk about what I was putting together.
Yeah.
I'll keep the crowd
here.
No problem.
Did you say trophy fig scale?
Yeah,
what
trophy
are they called?
fig.
I don't know what that. Aren't those like nano figs? Is that what they are? I always thought that's what they were called.
Oh yeah, nano fig. Sorry. There's
I hear
mistake.
I hear people say the word trophy fig.
Interesting. Hadn't heard that.
I think that's something you can say because they look like a little trophy.
So yeah,
like
I can show
like to a minifigure, it's like a little like Dundee Award. You know?
Oh yeah, good call.
They're like an Oscar. Your sig fig can win an Oscar if you buy a gold one.
That's right. What you got, Moto?
Oh yeah. So I'm doing a Vic Viper. Someone didn't know what a Vic Viper was. So November with 2 V's. Yeah. So November, if you spell November with 2 V's in the front, it's a month where if you're into space or classic space in the community, it's building what's called a Vic Viper. So Vic Viper is a spaceship that was popularized by a builder, and it has just a couple rules. You have to have, and you can go Google it, it has to have wings that come out in the front like Buck Rogers. It has to have a single engine in the back. It has to have a single tail, and then it has to have 2 wings. And it's from, I believe it's a video game reference. But this is something that's been going on for years and years. It's kind of like Ship-Timber, where everybody kind of collects their photos. You paint out the background, it can be made into a poster, all that good stuff. But I started with an engine core. I'll just show that.
Oh, that's very cool.
I blatantly stole this from Small Art Director. He assembled this gorgeous construct, and so I mostly cloned it and lifted it off of him. And then I've been.
What are those curved pieces? The trans blue ones?
Yeah, these are claws.
Oh, okay.
Those are the claws that you get from Chima Ice Mammoth or some other stuff. They're smaller claws, but I'm using let me grab the octagonal piece. A little bag of octagonal pieces here.
Yeah, those are useful.
Yeah, I'm just stacking a bunch of these guys and then layering them one on top of each other, on top of each other, on top of each other. And my son came up with that. I'm putting the reactor in the back.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I love those alien bug things as reactors. But that's that. And then for the Viper parts, I think this is what Boone was. Ooh, and I just broke it. So there goes a moto. I'm awesome at doing that. It's inevitable. I always break something on camera. So if you think of it pointing up, so the fronts are going to be like this. But what I'm using is I'll have to do a video on how I cheated this together. But yeah, I'm using Belleville. They're kind of like Princess Gates in transparent pink. But I thought they'd make really awesome fins. And then
that is going to be so colorful in true Moto fashion.
Yeah, you know me in bright colors. I thought it'd be nice to do dark pink and magenta. But I thought magenta was a good complement to that transparent pink. So inevitably I threw Pegasus wings on there because why not?
Sure, exactly.
But there's a crazy bar jammed method for getting around how to attach everything, then I'll have to shoot a video at some point. I've got some equipment that's supposed to arrive today that'll allow me to do kind of like a mock in the moment video where I can mic myself up, put in a camera with a battery plugged in, and sort of talk as I build, and then collapse it into a video once I'm done.
Oh, cool.
To give people little tips and tricks along the way. But yeah, just kind of... And now it's about getting to really what I should have done, which is figuring out and solving the body of it. So I can get the engine... Oh yeah, and I messed around with some windscreens. I found some cool parts. These are my seat elements. So I like to do seat parts and jam things together into structures, and then I'm going to work the body, and hopefully all this will come together at some point. But with only 2 weeks remaining, I'm kind of getting a little nervous about time. Might go a little over. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. And hopefully I've stalled long enough for Boone to do what he needs to do.
Oh yeah, we're taking our time.
Oh jeez.
Look
at you.
You're welcome to what's that?
I said, look at you jammed out another giant chunk while I was...
I don't think so. I've just been looking for parts.
Oh, and your time lapse finished.
Time lapse finished. Here, let's play it again. We'll
Yeah,
get,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, might as well.
Play it again, Sam.
And actually, you know what I can do here? We'll give people some glimpses of the official Colosseum here.
Oh, they use skates as the scroll work on top of the columns.
Yeah, it's pretty rad,
That's
right?
Clever.
I want to see if I should have a way to put this on like replay, and then it'll just go around and around.
Do you have like a track unit you can use for your camera work there?
So this thing is so cool. For the price, I've been blown away by it.
It's got to have a rail system?
I mean, no. It can be used with a rail. Here. So this is I'll full screen myself real quick.
Oh my gosh.
You distracted me. So this is it's just a little remote motorized thing. So it's got a rechargeable battery built in. You turn it on, you set the speed over here. It can go like 3 different speeds. There's like 1, 2, 3, and then it can go one way or the other, and there's like a little fob like you would use for your car. And then these can just make various radius, of circle, and then it just rolls on a table. So as long as you have a nice smooth surface. But then these are rigid enough that if you have the right width of rail, you can use this on a rail. But it also works just on a table, on a smooth surface.
Got it.
And this is less than $100. I think it was like 60 or 70 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was skeptical about how well it was going to work. But I opened up the package, and it's nice and like heavy. It's like, a lot of it is made out of metal. So that made me feel good about the quality of it. And I've been really pleased with it. It doesn't serve every purpose that a traditional like slider, like dolly slider would serve, but it is quite good for what it is.
I like that it's compact, so you don't need a huge... I mean, all of us are limited on space. It's not like we have a gigantic...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally, those wheels fold up, and I just pop it into my camera bag.
Yeah, and the end result looked really good.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly better than, nothing.
Which is what I have.
Let's see, what do I got going on here?
I have a little tiny Steadicam for my digital camcorder, but that's not really... I mean, I could use it for some of that, but Boone's solution is better, I think.
Yeah, sometimes buying stuff is cheaper than the components of DIY as well.
Yep.
What I do is I usually try to get along just by myself, and after it annoys me for a month straight, then it's time to finally save up the money. If it only annoys me for a week, I realize I really didn't need it.
Yep.
Let's see, one of those. I wish I had given myself one more day to finish sorting all this stuff. This would be a more enjoyable experience. But hey, I'm really glad that you're all here.
Okay.
Looks like we've got a few more people watching right now, so I just wanted to say thank you very much for watching. What I'm doing here is down at the bottom right-hand corner, you can see the time-lapse build of the new Colosseum set. And in the main image here, I'm working on an alternate build that I designed using pieces from the Colosseum. So we're just, hopefully we're having fun here. Rick Brickham said, wait, Rick, did you change your name back? Or do you have multiple accounts? But he says, at Dave Morgan, at Moto, what mocks do you have on the go?
I did a show and tell. Dave did a show and tell. Unless we got something else up our sleeves.
Yeah, I have my hotel that I'm working on, but it's partially disassembled right now while I continue working on it.
Oh, you had to make disassemble. Poor Johnny 5.
No, it's not that it fell apart. It's just that it's huge, and in order to do work on parts of it, I have to take other parts apart. It's almost done though. It's about 25,000 pieces.
Well, I will plug one other thing.
Do it.
I put together.
You want full screen?
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's not great, but I'll show it. So I did 3 ornaments over the course of a day, and this is a campaign by LEGO. And there's a quick little ornament. It was about 30 minutes, not too bad. Just bash it out. But if you make an ornament and you share it on social media, if you do the hashtag #BuildToGive in all one word, LEGO sends a free set to someone in need. So I would plug the Build to Give campaign by LEGO. Just sit down, do what you do, make a nice little ornament, however it is you do it, and put it on wherever the hashtags are. And you've just gotten a free set to someone who needs it. So win-win all around, right?
That's awesome. Yeah, that blows me away. And it's a 1-to-1. They do one set for every one hashtag that someone shares of something they built.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way the campaign is. Whoa, everything went fuzzy there. There we go. Yeah, it's that's what they say in their campaign, up to a certain, I can't remember, gigantic, ridiculous quantity. Realistically, because the hashtags are disabled on Instagram, I think what they're going to do is just send 100,000 sets out because they probably already pre-staged it all. But why not do it anyway? Why not flood the interwebs with LEGO ornaments? I think it's kind of a fun little thing anybody can do. You could do it with 5-6 parts. I remember in the LEGO stores when you would go in, you could make an ornament in the store. They had a bunch of pieces last year, and I jammed out 3 quick little ornaments in the store and kind of set them on a shelf, and then you take a picture of it and hashtag it and all that good stuff. But now it's more of a stay-at-home version, which I admire. I think anybody could, think about what kind of ornament you want to do. I've seen Holly made a fantastic gnome. Everybody's kind of something simple, something everybody can do.
Maybe that'll be the next build challenge here on Boon Builds. And it'll be like a
the Build to Give campaign.
Support the Build to Give campaign and have fun doing the build challenge while you're at it. Okay, for those of you who are always asking about what the next build challenge is going to be, you may have just gotten a.
Don't make the final decision because you're completely wiped out on sleep. Do sleep on. Think about
it. Yeah. But we'll say that's not the final decision.
Sounds like an idea.
And hey, Boone.
I'm gonna think about. Yeah.
I realized I did have one photo of my hotel that I took before I took it partially back apart again. So if you want,
take me off the screen. Let's see if he can share that.
You gonna do a screen share?
Yeah, I just did.
There you go.
Wow. Oh yeah, you were showing me this, Dave. This thing is sick.
I'm so glad you just said sick, Dave.
I said sick.
I mean Moto.
Yeah.
Moto, I'm glad that's the 35 minutes of sleep talking.
Yeah.
So that was before I added. Go ahead, Boone.
I just feel like people don't say sick enough.
I'm showing my age. It's probably a term that's since lapsed with all the people in the know. But God, the scale of this thing just overwhelms me every time I see it.
I'm really curious how heavy the whole thing is. I have no idea at the moment, but each floor is modular, so I can move it floor by floor.
Yeah, so whenever you display this, it's not going to be how many pieces are in there. It's how much does it weigh.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually seriously curious.
You should weigh it, and so when someone asks how many pieces are in it, you just give them a weight.
Yeah.
That would be a great, clever way to just kind of grasp the
Yeah. But yeah, so I have to finish the roof ridge is actually finished now because parts came in to do that, but they weren't in this photo. And then I'm working on the driveway and a bunch of foliage out front.
Dave, how long have you been working on that?
I started the design back in like March or April, but then I had to wait for lug bulk to arrive to actually start it. So I started building it maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Cool.
It's actually pretty quick to build. It was all designed in studio, and it's very modular in the design. So it's actually pretty quick to build it, even as large as it is.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting side note. I use Studio, Boone, you use Studio, and Dave, you use Studio, right?
Yep.
I sense a trend.
Yeah, indeed. Mr. Monarch asked how many pieces are in it. I think it's around 25,000. The reason I say that is it's about 20,000 in studio, but I didn't have the complete roof design or some other things in studio because I wasn't sure how that part was going to go. So I just had to kind of do it physically. But there are almost 3,000 2x2 dark red tiles in the roof.
I was going to say, a model's gigantic and over the top when you are depending on a lug bulk order. As your primary means of parts. That's insane.
Yeah, there's the other little pieces of trivia that people seem to like. There's 1,525 1x2x2 windows, and something like 550 1x2x3 windows.
Wow.
I like how you say there's about, and then you give this very precise number.
That's what Studio will do for you.
It's about 1,275 pieces given.
Yeah.
Plus or minus 2.
Chantel Build says, I find Studio very time consuming. I wonder if that means, like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I could see that going either way.
I find it, I don't know, compared to pulling parts. I mean, if you're compared to set building, yes, it is. It's very time consuming. Compared to mock building, where I have to dig into each one of these bags and open it up and pull the piece out and assemble it, it could be, I think it's faster because you can clone and mirror stuff. So if you do like a left side, you can just, bam, it's on the right.
Which is exactly what I did for the hotel.
Exactly.
There's a lot of cloning, and so it's very fast that way.
So that was an interesting.
Go ahead, Boone.
That was just an interesting thing about this build. I created the custom palette in Studio based on the official set. I thought about making a video. I might make a video showing folks how to do that someday. It's not necessary for most sets because those get made and put out there into the universe fairly quickly. But this was one that I had to create from scratch because it's a set that isn't out yet. But I had to be very careful. You can set the quantities, but the quantities in the custom palette don't prevent you from using more of a piece that you already have activated. So once you use it, it disappears from the palette. Like once you've used up your allotment for that, for that element, it disappears from the palette. But let's say you had 50 of a 2x2 in blue, and you get to you place number 49, you place number 50, and it disappears from the palette. but it doesn't
yeah.
take it out of activation. So I had to pay real close attention to placing each part to make sure that at no point in time was I exceeding the limit in the parts palette. So I actually didn't do any cloning in this build unless I knew I was only cloning sections of bricks that I had like plenty left, But so that was an interesting thing. But
wait a minute, I was reading the comments, so I only kind of partially heard what you're talking about. Are you saying there's a way in Studio to create the palette and then tell it how many pieces you have of a particular part on hand? Oh, that's cool. I got to look into that.
Yes, it's possible. And I will send you some information. If you remind me, Dave, when I'm not in the middle of something, I'll send you. There's a gentleman that wrote a pretty good blog article about it. But I also plan to make a video about it because I think that the blog article that I found may have had more information than is necessary for what I did, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. I need one more of those elbows. Okay, there we go. Found it. Yeah, so, but what I was saying, Dave, is it keeps track of the parts for you and the quantities, and those will disappear as you use them up, but it doesn't prevent you from using an element that you already have sort of like activated on your cursor.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
So that was my point. Is I really didn't do much cloning in this build, and this build is a 6,000. Just a little over 6,000 elements, and almost none of it was cloned because I was just constantly being careful not to exceed quantities on parts. And in the end, I was doing a check at about 9 p.m. last night. That was like part of my checklist of like things that I had to have done before today, and there were 3 elements that I overused. And luckily, one of those 3 elements I overused by 4 pieces. So I had to go back into the model and find a way to replace 4 of those pieces with something else. And it required a little bit of redesign. And then the other 2, I only overused by 1. But even as careful as I was, it still wasn't foolproof. But I mean, it's far better than having no control over that. So the quantity, and basically what the quantity is distinguished in the file. So there's a file hidden on your computer in the system files. And I can tell you where it was.
That's how you do it. Okay, that makes sense.
And for each custom palette, Studio generates its own file, and you can go edit those files if you choose to. You just got to know where they are.
Cool.
And then there's only one thing that makes the difference between a custom palette that has quantities and a custom palette that doesn't have quantities, and it is like an asterisk in the title of the palette. And basically what that tells Bricklink is supposedly that asterisk tells it that it is an official set. And that's a little bit of a misnomer because of course you can create one for a set of parts that's not an official set, but that's basically how Bricklink treats it.
Cool.
Boom's like Bricklink Neo hacking the Matrix there. It's a great way to do
and
it.
I think that blog article that I was talking about, one of the things he did was he actually shows you how to take a Bricklink, what do you call them on Bricklink? Bricklink,
Like wanted?
You know, what do you?
Wanted list?
Yeah, exactly. A Bricklink
Mhm.
wanted list. Now I can't tell what color these are. I'm gonna say they're. Yeah, you can export a Bricklink wanted list, and he shows you how to turn it into a custom parts palette with quantities activated.
And you got a super chat, Boone.
Heyo, Rick
Rick Brickham.
Brickham, super chat. At Boone Build, sorry for the confusion with my name. I was logged in with a different account on my phone, then switched to PC. You guys are all awesome. I'm glad I'm here for today's stream. Aw, thanks, Rick. I thought that I figured it was probably just a different account, which makes sense.
Whatever account you're logged in with, your money's still good. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate it, buddy. You are awesome, and for as long as I leave your super chat up, your avatar covers up Moto, so it's like it's a win-win.
It's a win-win-win. Oh, bring it back.
Thanks a lot, Rick.
Nobody needs
You're
to
the
see
man.
my nappy facial hair that I have to shave.
Well,
Get the
let's
synergy
see.
core down.
Moto, are you going to work today?
Oh yeah. I'm playing with a little bit of time here. I
Okay.
decided I won't start work till 9 o'clock my time.
Okay.
And I've got to leave in
There you
about
go.
10, 15 minutes. I got a meeting at 8.
But I will be listening, and if I
Cool.
finish the design I'm supposed to complete today early, I'm gonna come back and start typing or rejoin or whatever. Yeah, here's that energy
Awesome.
core.
Nice.
What did I miss here? I missed something. That is one of
What are those
these.
middle pieces, Moto?
Which ones?
What are the blue? What are those?
So the middle of this is a transparent purple alien insectoid pod.
Ah, gotcha.
I wanted to use purple because I thought it would complement the magenta really well instead of using like a transparent neon green version. So I'm using my good old color theory to try to, I don't know, make it look good.
Yep.
Don't know if that's going to happen, but that's my intent. Got to start somewhere, right?
All right. Well, I didn't do myself any favors here. I have
Looks like you have some front steps now. Is that what that is?
Well, yeah, the front steps are beginning to come together, but
I see that.
the way I gave myself the steps, I put down all the little bitty plates first. When what I should have done was, put it. This is good. I should be making notes about step order, so that I can make updates to the file before sharing it with the world. All right. So there's just sort of like some rocks down here. Here, I'll show this. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I remember
Oh, wait. I'll wait a minute.
I remember the render. So you do have a lot of rock work that's going to get all up in that biz.
Yeah, all around here is going to be rock work. And I'm excited about that because it uses all of the same pieces from the base of the Colosseum. And on the Colosseum, they were used to sort of make this nice kind of seamless sweeping. Well, you can see it there if you look down, in this video, you can see it just sort of makes this nice big oval, but it uses basically the full swath of sloped bricks.
Wedge
And
plates?
there's a well, they're snotted sloped bricks.
Oh man.
So those and there's two layers. There's black and there's dark gray. So it gave me a lot of great pieces to use for the rock work. Unfortunately, there's no curved slopes. I don't really have any like wedge bricks. It's all black and dark gray sloped bricks, but it's basically all of the options that are available in those colors in various quantities. And so I don't know, I just found it fun to, in a way, I'm building, a pedestal here that's inspired by a similar construction, but I'm really switching up the way that those pieces are used to make a more organic texture around the outside, as opposed to just kind of a display edge. But
yeah, if anybody is into really any city or architecture, medieval or fantasy, this thing might be your parts pack for a year, because there's so much tan in it. There's so much. Now that I know that's all snot work and that's brick and slopes, that's incredible.
Yeah, except the set is $550, so it's not.
I know.
It's not exactly well.
No, it's not cheap. It's not like going to shopgoodwill.com and getting $7 or $8 on a pound.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful set. So I know there are going to be people out there that love it.
For my honeymoon, I visited the Colosseum with my wife.
Oh, that's
very
wonderful.
cool.
And so I'm looking at that middle structure, and it's just spot on.
I think one of the primary reasons I wanted to build something else is because I've never been to the Colosseum. I think if I had been to the Colosseum, I would feel much differently about, wanting to display it or wanting to hold on to it, But anyway, I digress. All right. Well, I'm sort of settling into just going back and forth to the bin every now and then. In my imagination, that's not what I was going to be doing during this stream, but I think I'm fine with it. Most of the pieces that I've needed so far have not been difficult to find. There are some elements that are in this set in the multiple hundreds. I want to say like a 1x1 tan brick. There's
yeah, I'm looking at those walls go up,
like 450 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the outside of the Colosseum. I'm just like, you must get 1 trillion tan pieces of those cheese. Are those cheeses or regular slopes? I can't tell.
There's both. There's a bunch of both.
Oh my gosh, that's oh cow.
Let's see. I need to wrap my head around what I need here. I need
Yeah, stay on target.
This was one of those moments where I was like, yeah, I'll be able to figure that out when I'm doing it, and I can, but my brain is also a little bit toast.
Yeah. One of the things I need to pay more attention to with Studio is I'm pretty good at designing, but I don't pay any attention to designing in a way that I can do instructions later, or even builds come sometimes. In fact, I'd love to hear Moda's input on this, but I do everything as modules.
I'm listening.
Do everything as modules, and then I replicate them. But the problem is it's section by section, not layer by layer. So then when you want to actually build it, if you want to follow the instructions, it gets to be a pain. So sometimes I make a copy of the entire design and save it as a build copy and then explode all of the submodels.
Oh yeah, I certainly have done that too. Like I'll go back through and create. I haven't done that a ton of times, but I have done a few different models that I wanted to be able to share as plans, and I'll go back and like exactly like you said, create a version of the file that is just for like destroying all the submodels and then going and making a bunch of submodels that make sense for building.
Yeah. It just takes a lot of work to make those building submodels. How many pieces is this? About 5,000?
Which one?
The one you're doing now, your castle.
It's over 6. It's like 6,000 something.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so when you get into models that big, it gets to be really painful to try and do instructions and even for building for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a slight hint. It's not anything magical, but I'm finishing up instructions for my Mad Max car, and the way I did it is using the group function. So when you talk about submodels, I found that I had chunks that would come off cleanly on the car, or maybe you have a building. And when you group that together, it creates an entire subassembly in the instruction manual. So I focused on groups of about 50 pieces coming together as like the hood of the car. And then what you do is you're laying these sub-builds into the model as you go along, like the front bumper, or the dashboard, or the roof of the car, or the bumper. If you use groups, and what I was doing is, going along and very diligently trying to find, I had the model in my hand, and I was like, oh, that just came apart as a chunk. And I think it's grouping or submodel, I think it's what it's called. But you right click on all the elements and you can drag them into basically a way of doing that, so that as you go through the instructions, you're building, like what Boone did there, you're building a big chunk and then you set it down, and then you make the next big chunk and then you'll set it in the model.
Yeah, that's submodels, which I heavily use. For example, on my very first hotel and on this hotel, there's a lot of repetition, just like in the Colosseum with the windows. And so I will make a submodel of a window assembly. That I do that for two reasons. Obviously, then I can just copy, paste. But also, if I decide, hey, I want to change this slightly, I just go into the submodel and change it, and then it changes everywhere.
I just had a bad idea.
Oh, I love bad ideas. Let's hear it.
Well, I love these, the rear, so if you ever buy a large airplane kit, the rear
Stabilizer.
tail
Tail.
of the plane, it comes as this large molded element. And what's cool is it's got a great shape. It's easy. It gives you a lot of, I don't know, it's just all there, right? So I had two of them. I was planning on making my wings using this. And of course, like we fiddle on a stream, I just did that. That's a bad idea.
That's very cool.
That's a very bad idea that I love.
Why is it a bad idea? Looks like a good idea to me.
Well, first of all, it's got the classic problem of anti-stud to anti-stud.
Yeah, I immediately thought about that part. Yep.
So that's awesome. And then if I try to connect this to the spaceship body,
yeah,
I've got 4 studs to work with, carrying the entire weight of this thing. So
okay, fair enough.
that's gonna be interesting.
But it looks so cool.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, you know me. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna have to get this done, but it's good. I'm gonna have to get a little. Yeah, this is gonna take some motivation. Yeah.
What have I done?
That's what I say all the time.
Oh my gosh, what have I done?
Oh my gosh, what have
I had a floating piece.
Oh, I know how to solve this. I'm gonna go do it right now.
Of course, already.
Yep. No, I got it. Ah, where's my pieces? You can take me off the big screen.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, where are my stupid connectors? There you are. Alright.
Somewhere here is one of these.
Let's commit to something so awful. Looks like I planned it that way.
Here we go. That works. Wowza. Okay. That all works. Okay. The other problem with the scale of this thing, which, maybe it's okay because it certainly seems like smaller than minifig scale, to have these steps be one plate, one tile thick. They're a bit thick for, like micro scale.
Or is it thick with 2 C's? You just go with it. Yeah, that works.
But
that base looks really
come up
solid.
with something there.
I got it. It's just gonna take me time to pull all the pieces.
So that green piece in the center, is that a 16 by 16 brick, Boone?
It is a new. I will show it to you. It is a 16 by 16 Technic brick, and it's actually
wow.
it's actually 1 1/3 tall. So this is basically like
That's the art plate.
It's basically like bricks with a
plate on top. Yeah. What was that used in?
What did you say, Moto?
That's used in the mosaic art sets. That's what the base is for. Only it's in green. And what's cool is that is basically a Mills base without the base plate.
Yeah, you're right.
And,
so, yeah.
And it has, this set has 10 of them.
Oh my, what?
Wow. Holy cow.
And I use all 10 in my alternate build here.
Wow. Okay, that's impressive.
But in the Colosseum, they are used to spread out. But in the castle, the first like whole ground level, which is probably represents, you know, a room that would be like a 2 or 3 story building, is there's no interior to see at that level. So it's just like basically those bricks stacked to give this its internal structure. And then it's the next level up from there that has a roof that you can remove and see the inside.
But I'm curious how you're going to use those, Moto. It'll be interesting. I'm curious how you're going to use those. He's not going to reveal his secrets.
I got 9 minutes before I have to get to work. I'm up against the clock, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Did you say 9 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah, I probably need to leave in about 4 minutes.
All right. Well,
do it.
I'll say goodbye when it's time, but I really appreciate you guys being here.
And I should be able to pop back in again probably around 10 if you're still going, which I think you will be.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna finish this thing today. I think this is certainly gonna have to be part 1, but I think I'll probably try to go until about lunchtime today and see how far I've gotten. I'd like to at least maybe get the main level of the castle walls up. I don't know. I'm going a bit slow here. We'll see.
Well, A, we keep interrupting you, and B, you're tired.
You're talking to us. That's why. Remember when you tried to sing and build at the same time?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Oh, I missed a piece.
So is this like, here we go, we're building a castle now?
Yep, that's it. Oh, I got a hair stuck in here.
Oh no, I hate that.
All right, here we go.
You guys can't imagine what it's like when I get a hair stuck in my models.
All right, I better run off and get ready for my meeting.
Dave, thanks a lot, man. I'll see you later, buddy.
Yeah, I'll try to pop in later. Take it easy, guys.
Peace. Chris, thanks for coming, buddy. Chris says, gotta go, guys. Bye from the UK.
See you, Chris.
Thanks a lot.
See you in 3 hours.
Yeah, Monica Berry says, I get so much of that in our house. 4 people with long hair and 2 cats. Yep. Okay.
The worst part is if I trap my own hair that's on my head in the model.
If you what?
If part of my ponytail gets trapped in the model, that's not good either.
Oh. Does that happen often?
No. That's why I keep it in a ponytail. If I didn't have it kind of all controlled, it would probably be pretty bad. All right, it's not perfect, but
let's see. You got something? I'm putting you on solo.
Okay.
What do you got? Oh.
So remember these guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're one of the few stud to stud, side to sides. Now this awful plate. Right. Quite honestly, I wish LEGO would lose the plate and just mold an Apollo I don't know what to call it, an Apollo stud, but without that, if you work out the Lego math, you can jam them in with 4 studs as columns.
Yeah, there is actually a little bit of that is done in the Colosseum.
Really?
Yeah, they do that with those pieces where.
How? Okay, so then I'll do
That's
top
rad.
bottom. I'll do top bottom. What I'm gonna do is swap. I'll swap this out with additional clips so I can get a tail fin, 1 stud up. You know, like a brick belt fin.
Yeah.
To look like I thought of that from the very beginning and planned for it.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
That
yeah.
that's what I agree. Fake it till you make it.
So once I get both sides in
it
there,
really works, folks.
there you go. You just saw it here on Boom Bells. I made it up. And 4 minutes. So it didn't take that long, which is a good sign.
Nice.
Yeah, this is going to be a nice look. And then it's going to give me positive studs so I can go snot forward and reverse. Ooh, that's going to work great. Back to you, Boone.
All right.
Nice
I
staircase.
think I'm getting close to putting my staircase together with my sort of rock pedestal.
Yeah, and it looks like the filler brick they gave you was what? Medium azure. Is that blue and orange?
It's this one is sort of like this. This is a weird color. I don't know what this is. It's like kind of a salmon color. I don't know what color that is. It's not coral.
It's like a sand version of orange.
Yeah, maybe sand orange. Maybe that's the color. Oh boy,
I don't see that very often. That's a really unusual color.
Yeah, it might be. It might be
great.
the color. And there's a bunch of them. Look. Yeah.
It looks like that's what I'm seeing. As I look at that bag, it looks like a pumpkin.
Yeah, it's really mild. It's not bright orange at all. Maybe it is sand orange, if that's a thing that exists. What am I looking for here? Bricks. There they are. Over there. We got those. I need 4 more of those. I'm going to do 2 of those and 2 of those. Okay. So I know where all of this stuff is for this step. Got 2 of these. I think this green is like so vibrant. I don't feel like I've seen it in a lot of stuff. Is it like a newish, like bright green? I'm trying to find the regular green. So here's the regular green next to like that brighter green.
It is rarer. I just noticed from sorting a lot of bulk lots all the time, and that one. Yeah, that color I have to keep in a separate bag with all my friendly colors. Anything that's a rare color, I put in a bright box.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I need 4.
I like it because if you ever have to do, well, you know this. Like when you make rock work or you're making environmental stuff, you don't want to hammer one tone all the time.
Right.
You got to mix the palette a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that bright green allows you to get little hints and pops in the environment. Kind of like newer growth compared to the established growth. Yeah, baby. Oh man, that worked great. Look at that.
Holy smokes.
That's not coming.
So now, what are you gonna do on the end where you've got to hold on to it with only 4 studs?
My inclination, and I have no idea if this is going to work. I'm going to come up here, put the plate outwards, and from that plate, I'm going to either hinge or barbelled a running spar, very thin, down to here. And that way I'll have a triangulation, right? If I can get a spar there, then I've automatically got a triangle viewed from this angle, and turned this way. If the spar goes like this, I will have triangulated it, and thus create a small truss work that will hopefully keep the junk together. That's my first inclination.
And hopefully look cool.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the idea, is to make it look almost impossible. Like it should just fall apart, but it's a little bit stronger using that math. So yeah, I'll try to. I mean, that's a really long distance for a bar.
What about a?
Oh, you know what?
What about a Technic axle?
Yeah,
what were you saying?
A Technic axle would work, but I don't know. It looks clunky to me whenever I put one in there.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, if I play around with the idea, this notch looks like basically a large, the large plate tails. So I could mess around with that too. Is have a plate tail, so it looks like a wing, but it's intentionally got a knockout, just to play with it.
Yeah.
Almost like, hey, I could have put a solid wing here, but I went pro and decided to not do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I'm at time, my man. I will be listening in as I work and drawing inspiration. And if I can complete my design today ahead of time, I will try to rejoin you and make sure you're still sane.
Awesome. Hey, thanks a lot, buddy. I really appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, it's all good.
Have a great time.
Yeah, get your brick on. Play well.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.
See ya. All right. Hey, thanks for being here, everybody. We got some fun people in the chat. Ben's Bricks is here. Corey Kinnick has joined us. Trust that junk. Space City Bricks with a $10 super chat. Space City, thanks a lot, man. Or person, I guess. Probably shouldn't say man if I don't know who you are. But I really appreciate the support. Rick Brickham. Oh, let's see. Ben must have said, you can tell where you are in your LEGO world when you just hear about a set and then someone has a stream where they're already doing an alternate build with it. Well, it's been rumored for a few weeks now, but surprised today to see Boone's already had a copy and an alternate build. Yeah, it is a benefit of being on the LAN. There was I saw some leaks, some pretty terrible leaked photographs of the Colosseum. So for anyone who has joined in the last few minutes, I am building an alternate model to the Colosseum. Down there on the bottom right, you can see, well, what can you see down there? You can see a time lapse of when I actually built the Colosseum. And I took the Colosseum apart, and I tried to sort all the pieces, and I just didn't give myself time to sort all those pieces. So I'm doing a little digging today while I'm building, but I have some pieces sorted. But you know, just building. And in case you missed it, I'll go ahead and flip over to the. Here's what I'm building. Oh, is that showing it to you? No, it's not. Here, I'll put it here. Yeah, we'll full screen it. This is an alternate model that I've designed for the Colosseum. I also got 35 minutes of sleep last night, so my brain is having a hard time figuring out any of the things I'm trying to say. Let's see, there's that and there's that. We'll bring all that back. I'm getting near to the end of the stairway section. So there's sort of a stairway at the front of the castle, and a bridge up to the front gate, and I'm making some headway on that. But I am certainly building slower than I might otherwise, because claiming lack of sleep and a little bit of stream brain, it's not always terribly easy to try to stream and build at the same time. Whoa, dude, go get a nap. I will. I'll get a nap. I'll get a nap. But I gotta get something done. I gotta feel good about what I've accomplished before I can go take a nap. I'm thinking lunchtime today. What time is it? 8:05. Oh, does that mean I'm gonna build for 4 more hours? Sheesh. I'm gonna be really hurting if I try to stay on for another 4 hours. But you know, like I said, I want to feel good about how far I've come in part 1 of this little endeavor here. Chewy says, "Hey Boone, you are so awesome." Thank you so much, Chewy. I appreciate that. And Moto has just left us. Samuel, what? The castle design is amazing. I don't know how you come up with this stuff or how you have time. No sleep, I guess. Yeah, well, certainly no sleep in the last 24 hours. I put a lot of energy into trying to get ready to build this thing on the stream. And I'm fading, but I'm just going to keep plugging away. I'm just going to keep plugging away. If I stop, you know, if the stream stops being fun to watch, then, hey, that, you know, Rick says, time for the coffee IV drip. I actually just need to drink some tea. Flynn is here. Flynn! How long were you waiting?
Oh, just a minute or so. How's it going?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
It's going awesome. How are you?
Oh, it's going. I am super impressed. You have been, how long have you been working on this? I just heard you say you've been up for 24 hours.
Yeah, I haven't been building. I've been building since I guess I've been building for 2 hours now, which is, I haven't accomplished enough even for that, but I
well, now
was, let's see, yesterday morning. Sorry, so yesterday morning, the Colosseum was assembled, and I spent most of my day yesterday disassembling the Colosseum, trying to get the parts as sorted as I could, and then cleaning up the steps of my digital model so that I could start building my alternate model in the stream today.
Wow, I'm impressed.
So I don't know. Did you see what I'm building?
Yeah, I saw. I've seen leaks and all that sort of thing, and we don't really talk about them on our show. So I've been kind of keeping quiet about it, wondering when they were going to announce it. So I'm so glad that they did. It looks really cool.
Yeah. So I built I'm building basically as soon as I got the set, I started designing an alternate model. And
awesome.
And so the Colosseum was built here. You know, I wanted to create a time lapse, which is what you can see at the bottom right there.
Yep.
And I wanted to take some pictures and take some video footage. And then it was like the Colosseum was assembled here for less than 12 hours. I finished it. What's today? Friday. I finished building the Colosseum Wednesday night and went to bed. And then I got up Thursday morning, took some video, took some pictures, and then started taking it apart.
Oh, ouch. That's painful.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit sad, but also I was excited to build this thing that I got going here.
Well, you must also be excited to build, to have all those tan pieces.
Man, it is wild. If I wanted to build if I wanted to build Tatooine,
That's the first thing I thought of. You could do the whole planet.
I could. Yeah. I probably should have done that as my alternate build. That would have probably gotten more. Hey, it is time to attach the front part of my bridge here to the rock pedestal. All right.
So now I haven't seen though a picture of what you are currently building. Do you have? Are you not showing any of the mystery until we see it full?
No. I will show you. It is right here.
Whoa! Oh, Boone! Wow, it's gorgeous.
Thanks.
Lovely.
So right now, basically, I've built. Let's see. Can you see the cursor? I've built like the steps and the bridge, but I haven't even finished the bridge. And I've built the inside of the rock work. And I think now I'm about to actually start kind of attaching the rock work. So,
yay! Rock.
Are you streaming today?
Yep, at 10 o'clock we have our we did a 2-week free build challenge this time to give everybody some extra time. So we're looking at those, and I actually can't stay too long because I still have to photograph mine, which is sitting over on the coffee table in the other rooms. I have to take a picture of it before we go on today.
Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate you stopping by for even a moment.
Of course. I wanted to see what you were up to, and of course, I always like to see your smiling face and say hello.
Let's see. So I've got just under 2 hours until your stream starts. Maybe that'll be a good time for me to stop, and I'll try to finish all this rock work before then, and then everyone that's here can come on over and watch you guys.
Oh, that'd be awesome! Like on Twitch, you could do a raid, except for they don't do that on YouTube. But yeah,
yeah, we could. How could we make it a thing? I could put it in the. I could put the link in the chat.
Sure. So
yeah, I was gonna try to go till noon, but I literally I slept for like. I took like a 35-minute nap. So there's just no way I'm gonna. I feel like now I'm thinking maybe 10 o'clock would be a great time to stop part 1 of this build.
You gotta give yourself a break, as you know, as you well know.
Yeah. Hey, Space City Bricks, another $10. Didn't you already give what limitations? Thank you so much, Space City Bricks, for supporting the chat here with a $10 super chat. Woohoo! What limitations did you guys have with regard to colors and elements on Lego Masters? Did you ever run into I need X element in X color and couldn't get it on the show?
Well, oh my goodness. I'll just say, from experience, pink, support colors in pink were very hard to come by. Like basic bricks in pink, there were lots of them, but support bricks, and when I say support bricks, I mean like curve pieces, little pieces that you need to do more fine details. I had some trouble finding those. What about you, Boone?
Yeah, I feel like everything. Okay, I'm speaking very generally here, and I'm gonna look for something over here. Oh no, that stuff should be over here actually. I feel like generally speaking, pretty much all the parts came in the most basic colors.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the parts came in a pretty wide range of colors. And then it seemed like there were only a few select pieces that came in like the full gamut of colors. You know?
Right.
Like the bricks, the bricks were pretty much across the board. You could get all the colors.
Well, and I mean, it was what I found more tough was sometimes just the availability of like some of the larger pieces. Like I can point specifically to the bridge build. You know, that I think there was so much focus on Technic that maybe there was less focus than there could have been on large size plates. So like by the time we got, you know, penalized and we went last, and by the time we got up there, every single large plate was gone. So we had to build our bridge bed out of like little, you know, 4x whatever plates, and it was kind of like a crazy quilt, like potato chips, like scotch taped together by the end. So I mean, you know, they did their best to have everything, and they worked really, really, really hard. But you know, and especially I think since it was the first one, the first season, that we were all learning as we go, including the people who were doing the show, as far as like what things were going to be needed or not. So yeah, and also too, my golly, like they make such they make so many parts in so many colors. It would be, I think, impossible for them to truly have every single part available. And even if they did, I can't even imagine the headache of trying to remember where everything was. Like we had a tough enough time with what was there. Like there was a lot. And trying to remember where everything was, there was always like, whenever we were at the brick pit, it was like, oh, have you seen the such and such piece, or did you find this thing? But I think overall they did a really good job of keeping it supplied.
Yeah, I mean, they were constantly working on trying to, you know, do the best they could to support us. And I think that it was hard to know when we went in how, like, I guess I feel like the challenge producers specifically seemed to, you know, want us all to have everything we needed you know, insofar as they were able, right? Like I feel like they really had good intentions about trying to make sure that we had what we felt like we needed.
Well, and you can't always remember everything, right? Like there's so many. Like I do remember at one point looking for skeletons, and there were skeleton bodies but no heads.
Oh,
it was really sad.
That is sad.
But I mean, you know what they did? They ended up going and like opening sets and pulling out skeleton heads for us to use. So like they were really good about it. I gotta say, overall.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But you know, how do you can't have a skeleton without a skull? It's sort of like the selling point.
Right. Yeah, like if you're gonna have one without the other, you know, it's probably better to have
to do one without the other.
Skull. Right. Exactly.
So I was noticing.
I
was noticing in the pictures of the Colosseum, Boone, that whole base is sideways built, or like
the entire
outside edge.
The entire thing is sideways.
I'm looking at your video now. I see it's a lot of like gearboxes put together with Technic.
Yep. And then it's, you know, very similar to this, except in the Colosseum the base is larger.
Right.
But where it's, you know, these brackets. Oh, that's hard to see. Sorry, because there's no light coming from that direction.
I can see it. Yeah, lots of brackets.
But you know, brackets all around, and then that's sort of what forms, you know, the foundation of the rock. In my case, it's rock work, but in the case of the Colosseum, it's just sort of like a display edge, you know.
Yeah, well, I've never seen them do one like that before, so I was really impressed. That seems very inspired by AFOL models. Over the years, I've seen a lot of people do those really interesting shaped bases and round ones.
Right. Yeah, and I think that they're definitely, you know, leaning into that. You know, the Mickey and Minnie, I felt like had pretty interesting. I mean, they weren't particularly interesting shapes, but what they were just rectangles. But what they did with like the kind of film edge on those display bases, I thought was pretty creative.
Well, and it came with some great parts too, man. Those arms, those black macaroni arms, they're huge. They're so cool.
Yeah. That part actually just got loaded into Bricklink, into Studio with the latest update.
Oh, great! Yeah, I just updated
big macaroni.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah. I'm missing a one by one tile, and I think I'm just going to plug forward without it because I think there was only one. Yeah, I think there was only one in this set, and I'll find it later. But anyway,
awesome. Well, I have to go because I have to start photographing my stuff for our show at 10. But I'm so glad I got to come by and see you and see what you're working on, and I'm so impressed with your model, and I can't wait to see it all finished. It looks so cool.
Thanks so much, Flynn. Absolutely. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming by.
Oh, I always like I said, I always like to get an opportunity to see you. So it's been good, and happy building. And I will continue to come back and check in on you as the days go by and see how this is going, because I'm completely fascinated. It looks awesome.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you very much.
All right. See you later.
Thank you so much. Tell Richard I said hi, and and at 10 I'll try to wrap things up here and
look who it is.
Hey, Richard, how are you?
I was just working in the other room. I wanted to say hi, and
Logan
our dog,
is here.
Of course, is excited.
Oh, hold on.
Logan. Okay, well now we have to do that because he knows the music. Come on, Logan.
Did he hear it? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's great.
I actually added Logan Cookie Time as a channel points cash in for my Twitch channel, and one day
nice.
It was about like 2 or 3 in a row, and he's getting a little chonky from all the treats.
Oh no.
No, totally worth it. He loves it. But
oh, good.
Awesome. That was so awesome. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Hey, you too.
And I just want to say,
we'll see.
I see Ben's Brick Designs, Rick Brickham, Jake Sadovich, Brick 387, Cowboy Cornado, Moto, Brick 387. Thanks everybody. It was great to see you, and hopefully we'll see you over at our little clubhouse at 10 o'clock. And golly, I'm just so excited to see how this is going to turn out, Boone. I have never done a rebuild of a set to this level before. Like, we did a little tiny rebrick challenge on our show, and it was the street sweeper, and I found it extremely challenging. I mean, of course, there were about 6,532 less pieces in that one. But so
yeah.
All right.
Well, I think all right, we'll talk more later. Thanks a lot, Flynn.
Okay, Boone. See you later, everybody.
Oh, so fun. Jake Sadovich is in the house. Brick 387, Cowboy Cornado. I love watching the people come in at different times of the morning here. This is a lot of fun. Building away. I'm not sure how. I think an hour ago I was saying I was gonna try to go till noon, and I think Flynn just helped me make up my mind. They've got a stream at 10, so I think 10 o'clock will be my time to go nap. But still got an hour and a half here, so I'm gonna see how much more I can get done on this castle build. Man, I think it would be really great if the base, if at least like the base with the rock work was done. So I'm going to try to focus. Maybe I can get some done. Darth GBC is here. Any advice on how to get the Nebulon B frigate when it goes on sale online? Call LEGO. I always miss out on limited runs. Yeah, I don't know. Is that's soon, right? It's coming. I think I was able to get the, what was that one? The Bespin Duel I was able to get by just like popping on as fast as I could. But, you know, I guess it's all depends on, you know, how many people are trying to do it, what time it is. I'm sure that there are bots out there that are trying to snag those things for the scalpers. I don't know. Let's see. Everyone, yeah. Ben's Brick Design says, refresh the page fast. Moto said, Jake Sadovich, can you take on modding the chat? I don't know if is Jake a moderator? I'm gonna pop over to YouTube real quick and see. Can't remember if Jake's a moderator or not. If not, he definitely should be. I go here. I don't want to hear it. Oh yeah, Jake Sadovich is a moderator. Well, you know, the task of moderating here, just always a at will if you're willing. If you are a moderator and you're willing to moderate while you're here, that's great, but no stress. I think I have it set to slow anyway, so that's fine. All right, now I get to just slap in some big gray bricks here. There were over 9,000 pieces in the Colosseum, and I'd say the vast majority of them were like 1x2 bricks in tan, 1x1 bricks in tan, a lot of 1x3 and 1x4 arches in tan. So there's some of the really high quantity elements in this set. I use a lot of those in the castle that I'm building here, but there were like so many of some of those that they didn't all get used. But I was aiming for half. I was aiming to make an alternate build that had half of the 9,000 pieces from. Oh, hey, Cowboy Cornado, good to see you. We'll see you later. I was aiming for half of the 9,000 pieces from Colosseum, and I actually ended up creating a design here that has about 2/3. So I was pleased that I was able to push it a ways past half. Ben's Brick Design says definite purchase. I'm actually surprised how not really big it is and how inexpensive given how many pieces. I'm actually surprised how not really big it is and how inexpensive. I feel like it's kind of expensive, but it is a lot of pieces. Any idea if the San Diego Comic-Con Taskmaster's Ambush will come back like Bespin Duel? I don't know anything about that. Sorry. Just working on the rock work around here. Pretty much, I'm gonna work my way around this rock pedestal with like a layer or two of kind of a foundation, and then I'll go back around for more of the detail. Use a lot of these slopes. It's hard to see in this bag the difference between a 2x3 sloped brick and a 3x3 sloped brick. And you know, that's interesting. I don't think the 3x3 sloped brick existed when I was a kid. The the 3x4 slope existed. The 3x3, I think, is probably, I don't know, maybe that's come out in the last 10 or 15 years. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hey, Chantel Builds is back for a bit. So at the bottom right there in the Colosseum time lapse, you can see I'm pretty much finished the base, and now I'm beginning to work on the details inside that lower level of the inner Colosseum. And on my alternate build here, still working around the edges of this rock formation that the castle sits on top of. Oh, you know what I should do? I should make the background on StreamYard here an image that includes the castle, like right down there, so that way when I'm in here by myself, it would be able to people would be able to see what I'm working on without me having to flip back and forth. Okay, there we go. One of those. So let's see. What's the video playing in the corner? Yeah, Chantel. The video playing in the corner is the time lapse of the LEGO Colosseum. And I am building in real time here an alternate build that is a big castle on top of sort of a rocky mound. And I'm going to make the plans for this model available. I'm going to wait until the set actually releases. So I think that'll be the 27th of November. But there is a link in the description of this video if you're interested in going to check out. Sort of have it on like pre-sale. So if you wanted to buy it today, the plans, you could certainly do that, and then I would send you a download on the 27th when they are ready for distribution. And I guess I should say again that this set was provided to me by LEGO so that I could share it here with you. But I feel like it might be important for me to note that the alternate build that I'm building is not official. It is not an official alternate build. It is an alternate build of my design. And I just thought it would be fun with the largest set so far, by parts count. Granted, I do think the Millennium Falcon will still sit as a larger footprint in a display area than the Colosseum, because the Colosseum has a lot of little parts, and the Millennium Falcon actually has quite a lot of large parts. But the Colosseum has, sheesh, got to be 2,000 more pieces, or close to that, maybe 1,600 more pieces. Scout says, what are your thoughts on this set? I think it's incredibly beautiful and detailed. Talked a little bit about the repetitive nature of the build at the beginning of the video here. Here, I'll show, if I go back to the beginning of the stream here, you can see around the edges is just a lot of the same shapes over and over and over again. Now, the interesting thing about it is no two sections in there are identical. So you do get some variation as you go through the build process, but a lot of each section is pretty much the same as the next section. Let's see, I'm going to cruise back on forward to, maybe that's roughly where I was in the time-lapse build of the Colosseum there. I'm going to press forward with my castle build. Where are my tiles? Part of the challenge of building an official set, and then dismantling it, and using the pieces to build something else is, you know, the pieces are only as sorted as I was able to get them sorted, right? LEGO has done a really wonderful job for the last number of years on helping you have exactly what bricks you need at each stage of the build process. You know, when I was young, there were no numbered bags. So at the beginning of a LEGO set, we would just dump out all the pieces, and you had to look through all the pieces. Now, granted, there weren't sets back then with 6,000 pieces or 9,000 pieces, but you know, taking apart a 9,000 piece set and then just kind of having to find the pieces. Spent a lot of time yesterday sorting. I imagined I'd have it all sorted out, but in the end, I had to go take a nap. Now that's interesting. That looks like, oh, I missed a little piece when I was putting this together. Can I squeeze that in at this point? I sure hope so. I need one, it's one little 1x1 bracket that goes in there and gives just a little bit of support for that. Okay. The Colosseum showing wise. Truly breathtaking detail on this piece, showing us that LEGO is art. Yeah, absolutely. Rick Brickham says, I mean, it's definitely a good way to beef up your tan parts selection. If you don't mind paying $650, I think, where is that, Chantel? In the United States, it's going to be $550. In the UK, I believe it's $499 pounds. Or maybe in Germany, it's 499 euros. So is the 650 the Canadian price? Man, wowza. Well, you know, I suppose if the people out there who want to have the new largest set by piece count, and you know, yeah, maybe they are looking at it more like it's like a piece of art that someone would display prominently in their home. It's interesting to me. I wonder what demographic this set is going to, you know, be the most successful with. Aqua Mike TV is back. Here comes Aqua Mike. Let's see. I think I need to turn that off so that I can tell what's going on here. Okay, that works. Who's got big plans today? Anyone got big plans? What are you working on? Hey, Ben's Brick Designs. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it. Chelsea says, amazing, awesome, what else? Incredible. Thank you. Thank you so much. Too kind. Too kind. Something about that Aqua Mike song reminded me of what's that song from the original Mulan movie? Let's get down to business. Here comes Aqua Mike. Steven says, I am at Disney Springs debating picking the UCS Star Destroyer. Don't know where to put it though once I build it. Yeah, that can be a challenge. Where to display? Okay, I got those. I got that, and I got that. That's good. This is a much better view for me. So I don't know if you guys can see up here on the screen. I'm looking at Studio. This is the step editor. And so I took a number of hours yesterday to try to kind of make sure that I was giving myself a decent group of steps. And there's two different ways to look at it. You can look at it with kind of like onion skin, where you see all of the previous, it's a little bit hard to see on there, but you see all of the previous steps sort of, I don't know, transparent, and the new bricks are solid. But I think it's a little bit easier for me to tell where to place stuff if I have that turned off, and instead now it's circling the new bricks with a red square, and that's like a red outline. That's similar to what's going on in like official Lego models instruction booklets. Aqua Mike says, Boone builds, you should do my theme songs for my channel. I've got ideas for songs for my channel that I haven't gotten around to recording. Space City Brick says, were the bins shown on the show's set the only pull bins, or did you have a super secret stash behind the scenes? Awesome, thanks for the answer. Pretty much all of the bins that you saw were what we had access to. There was one challenge where we had some extra stuff. It was IP related stuff for Star Wars, and those were sort of hidden around the back where the cameras generally couldn't see them readily. But we could run back there during the Star Wars challenge and get some special Star Wars parts. That's an interesting choice. Boone, why did you do that? What do we got there? Is that just a gap? Okay, let's see. Yeah, that works. And then, okay. Scout says, what's your favorite Lego theme? My favorite Lego theme, probably like space. Some of the older like space sub-themes, particularly from the 80s and 90s. I'm really into that stuff back in the day. And what else? I really like pirate stuff. I do like Star Wars. I love Batman. Those are some of my favorites. Blacktron. Jesse says, Blacktron Yan? Or was that Blacktron Yeah or Yan? Yeah. Blacktron. Dylan, hi. Ooh, Kavi says, what's one of your least favorite Lego themes? Least favorite Lego themes. That's a hard one to answer. Least favorite. Maybe least favorite. It's hard to even say. Like, I don't even know how to like judge a least favorite. Least favorite Lego theme. I don't know. Good question. I can't think of one right now. Least favorite. I feel like there is just about something neat in pretty much every Lego theme is the thing. There's so much I appreciate, you know, even themes that I might not, you know, choose to want to like have. A lot of them have cool elements or cool colors. Melissa says, what kind of snacks do you like when you're building for like 8 hours? Oh, I don't know. Oh, sorry, you guys. I am just running on next to no sleep. But I'm going to try to go for about another hour and 15 minutes here. Let's see if we can get done with these rocks. The rock formations around the bottom here. I'm working my way around. I'm doing one pass, and then I'll go around again and hit another layer. That's kind of how I did it when I was working on the step order. I might decide to change that for the digital download for this alternate model. We'll see. Okay. There's one of these right here. And in here, there should be a black 2x2. Yep, got it. Jesse, thank you so much. Jesse says, looks great so far. I appreciate that. Is it Dahobe tube or Dajobi tube? I loved your yellow submarine art. Any more art coming along? Let me think. Is there more art coming along? Speaking of more art coming along, Sam!
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. I just wanted to say hi. I'm like, I really I got nothing to do, but how are you?
I'm good. I'm extremely tired. I was up all night trying to prepare for this, you know, so I'm doing an alternate build to the Colosseum that was just announced this morning.
Which is
and
crazy.
I really, what's that?
That's crazy. Like one night?
Well, no, I've been working on this for a while, but I definitely knew I had to be ready by this morning. And so I stayed up all night trying to sort the parts out, and because I built the Colosseum earlier in the week and I took it apart yesterday.
How long did it take to build?
I don't know. I mean, it took me a number of hours across like 3 days. It might have taken 12 hours, 16. I don't know. It's hard to say. I could tell you later if I do a little math on my time lapse. But I'm gonna have to do that math off stream. But I mean, maybe it took, you know, when I built the UCS Millennium Falcon, I think it took like 21 hours.
Wow.
Now this set has more pieces, but they're smaller, and it's much more repetitive than the Falcon.
Yeah, it looks like it's a really repetitive build. I'm interested to learn the techniques of how they snap everything together and make it so smooth around the outside. But
it is slick.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, they did a really wonderful job with it.
I have no place to display that, but I would love all those beige pieces. Tan.
Yeah. So did you see a picture of what I'm building?
Yes, it's more incredible than the original model. I love it. It is so beautiful. The way it sits into it's just lovely. That's why I had to stop by and see what you were doing and see where you're at.
Yeah, I'm not very far. I'm just, I took like a 20-minute nap before coming out here to start the stream. And
how did you plan this new one? How did you build it in Digital Designer first?
Yeah. So what I did is, the LEGO sent me the set to review for on Boone Builds, and hold on, I'm trying to count pieces here. I think that's only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay. And so I had the set, man, I probably had it 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And I just took it out. I took the manual out and I loaded up a custom palette, because there's a bill of parts in the back of the manual. And I loaded up a custom palette for the parts that are included in this set in Bricklink Studio. And then I started designing something different.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, I have so much more energy when there's someone here
talking
in the stream. The moment you came on, I feel like it's been too long since we've talked.
It has been a long time, and I feel really bad because I love talking to you. You always make me feel so much better and inspired. And I almost called you this week because I'm working on a really big project that is totally outside my comfort zone, and I was gonna call you just to get like a pep talk, like because we all need that.
Well, yeah, call me anytime, and it's a two-way street. So I haven't called you either, but it's been. I think this is the longest we've gone since LEGO Masters.
Oh, for sure.
Talking. I mean, without talking. So I'm glad. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry we're catching up while I'm like trying to focus on a build.
No, I'm excited just to be along and say hi to you.
So what's new?
I went to Utah and
Danny told me that she saw that you were in Utah.
Yeah, I went to Utah and Arizona. We went to like all the big rock formations. Like we saw the Gremlins and we saw the arches and we saw the Zion and we saw the Grand Canyon, and it was a really great trip. Lots of fun, really super cheap. As you know, I'm a budget queen. There was 4 of us in a rental car for 7 days, and with hotels and food and everything, I spent $325 for 7 days on the road.
Wow.
So
that's amazing.
It was really good. Like we found hotels that were like $50 a night because it's the off season. Nobody wants to be out there and it's cold and stuff like that. So $50 divided by 4 people, like $12.50 a person for the night. Like, yeah, sure.
That's rad.
It was fun.
Well, good for you. Have you ever have you spent much time in that part of the country before?
No, I traveling the West Coast or the west side of the country has been really, I grew up on the East Coast and in Michigan and stuff like that. So I was never out here for anything. So it was my first time in any of those places.
That's awesome. Yeah, I lived in Arizona from ages 3 to 12. So like all of my kind of childhood, family vacationing was kind of in that part of the country, all the big, the canyons and the rocks and
And it's all inspiring and so beautiful, but like anything, it becomes mundane or like when I go to a museum, like especially like something like the oh my gosh, I'm brain dead right now. What's it called in Vatican City? The big museum where the Sistine Chapel is. It's so big, and there's so many rooms, and you can't absorb any more art after a little bit. Like it's kind of like going to a brick convention. Like you just can't absorb everything in one day because you can't see every model.
Right.
You can't it's like after a while, I'm like, I just can't look at any more tapestries. I've seen 500 tapestries. I can't absorb it anymore. And so it's like that with the rocks. Like
Yeah.
you see a beautiful rock formation, you see another beautiful rock formation, you see another. You're like, okay, I got it. It's rock formations, and like you go to bed and the next morning you're inspired again. But you can't. There's only so much you can take in one day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I feel like when we were, like when I was a kid, we would always try to, you know, mix it up between like seeing natural stuff and then seeing like sort of the goofy tourist stuff. You know, like the giant dinosaurs or whatever was out there.
I love that kind of stuff. Those roadside attractions, those are my favorite.
Yeah.
Like even in Utah, there's places like just the gas station is built into a boulder, so you walk through the door and you're inside of a big rock, and you can just see like you're like, okay, there's a gas station. You know, they're selling Twinkies and candy bars, and you're like, what?
Hi, Hassani M. OMG, hi Boone, I'm a big fan. Thank you for being here. Aubrey says Northern Utah is totally different scenery than Southern Utah too. It's cool, huh?
I didn't make it to Northern Utah. I only made it to the southern parts. We stayed in that one little area like for like 4 or 5 days. The Gremlins was my favorite part because it's in the movie Galaxy Quest. They go out there and they have a big fight with this rock monster. And it's really just sprawling in these little round ball rocks just everywhere. And it's like so surreal. It looks like somebody set it up, and it was really fun.
So I don't really know what that is. I need to look that up because you said that when you first started talking about it, the Gremlins, and
it's literally this giant open flat area with hundreds and thousands of rocks that are just completely rounded off or oblong shaped, like they're all smooth from the wind, and they're like there's because the wind was trapped in some tunnel and it kept going around them. I don't exactly know how it formed, but it's unlike anywhere else in the area. It's all it looks like giant pebbles that are all smoothed around, like they've been washed in water and smoothed over time, and there's just piles of them everywhere, stacked up, making big mounds, and you're like, what is this? It looks alien, and I can totally see why they used it in movies.
Yeah, that's so wild.
So how long have you been working on this morning?
Oh, I'm right at 3 hours now.
Are you gonna finish it today?
No, I don't think so. I hoped to, but I did not sleep. So, Flynn and Richard go on in an hour, so I think I'll probably stop at that point and encourage people to go watch them for a bit, and then I'll probably get some rest in there somewhere and maybe eat some lunch, and then maybe I'll come back on this afternoon and do a little bit more. But I have a feeling that this is going to take me some multiple days of doing, multiple parts to this live stream.
Well, it looks cool so far. I just love your basic infrastructure of the base, like how it's put together so it's sturdy. I'm having issues with that on a project I'm working on right now. It's like all those little square Technic blocks, stacking them up and trying to make sure this is sturdy enough to hold other parts.
Yeah, this was I based this technique somewhat off of the way that the base of the Colosseum was built.
Yeah.
But this is different. in some ways.
Are you gonna sell this model when you're done with it, the castle?
I think I want to hold on to it for a while, but I'm going to sell the plans
Oh, that's a good
on
idea.
on my website because it's essentially an unofficial alternate model to what is now, by parts count, the new largest Lego set ever. So I don't know. I feel like some people are going to want to build, especially.
I'm shocked by how small it looks in the video there of you building it. Like, I just pictured it so much bigger, like the Taj Mahal, and it's actually looks like it's like half the size. It's really small.
I think that might be a camera perspective issue.
Okay.
Because it's quite large.
Okay.
I should have measured it.
Well, the Taj Mahal is gigantic though, because it's like so spread out. I feel like it's like 2 foot by 2 foot. Like it's a really big one. And this looks more like 1.5 foot by, and it's rounded. It just doesn't feel like the presence doesn't feel so large. But like you said, there's a lot of more smaller pieces rather than larger pieces in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how wide it was. It was probably, I bet it's 2 feet wide.
Okay.
But yeah, Taj Mahal might be. How is the Taj Mahal? I wish I knew what base plates, because it's what plates does that use?
I don't remember. I never built it. I always just saw it going, wow, that's beautiful. But I don't. It's that one and the Sydney Opera House. They're both huge and a lot of white and tan pieces. And I don't. Well, right now I'm doing a whole white project, but usually I don't use so much white and tan. So I'm like, eh.
Right.
And I hardly ever keep a set together. I take them apart and use the parts, so I don't have a space to display that stuff. The project I'm working on right now is 45 inches by 45 inches. It is huge.
Yeah, wow. That is huge. That's
almost 4 foot by 4 foot.
So it's three large base plates by 3 large base plates.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's 9 base plates total.
Wow. Yeah, that's big.
It's I don't know how I'm gonna transport it or anything like that after it's put together. I'm like, what? But we'll see.
Yeah, be careful putting it in the van.
Oh, are you teasing me for destroying your roller coaster?
Oh, that wasn't your fault.
I'm just kidding. I'm like, it was we did so well getting it in there, and then we realized we put it in the wrong way. We had to take it out again. It was just a disaster. Like, but you guys,
yeah, we should have just.
The next day, you guys won best in show, so it all worked out.
Well, you helped. You helped us out a lot with that.
I helped a little. You guys did.
Well, I appreciate.
You did way more before planning and idea-wise. I just went in there and played a little bit. I had fun,
sure.
But I don't really feel like I was a contributor the same way you and Flynn and Richard were. Like they built the whole sign before they even came to the convention. You know, it was a lot of work. So I'm not putting myself in that category.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. That's fine. I won't press you to. Did you walk up with us when we accepted the award?
No, not at all. It's not my place. I love you guys. I want to give credit to people who deserve it.
Well, I just can't tell you how much you helped me in the wee hours of the morning when I felt like it was never going to exist again. You were like, no, you were like, people will help, and then you did, and
I'm definitely positive energy for everything like that. Like, it'll work out. We'll get it done. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what does today look like for you?
I got to work on this project. I have to get some more done. It's due next week, and I'm far from it. And I've been seeing someone for the last few months, and this weekend is their birthday, so I'm going to visit, and there's this thing called ecstatic dance on the beach where they give everybody a headphone set and everybody listens to the same music, but we're social distancing and dancing together like a big dance party. So we're going to that.
Oh yeah,
night.
it's like silent disco.
Yeah, exactly.
Where everyone's listening to the same like broadcast.
Yeah. And so I'm excited for that. That'll be fun. Because I like
That's
to boogie.
Cool. Are you allowed to talk about what you're working on?
Vaguely.
Is it part of the big thing that I've known about, or is it something new?
Yeah, it's we had a big delay in that, so I only did like one project for them, but then they came back and they're like, okay, this is what we want now instead, and so they've revised a little bit, and this is a totally new piece. It wasn't anything that we thought of before. It kind of just came up, and we're like, oh, that's fun. It's creative. It's different. It's like pop art, and it's very neat, and so it's sort of a half mosaic, half three-dimensional. So it's right now it's like for me figuring out engineering of how to fit. So the piece in the end is 45 inches by 45 inches, like I was saying, but it hangs on the wall, and so it's flat with relief coming out. But then part of it is completely three-dimensional coming out of the relief. And
wow,
that is much more difficult to engineer and to figure out how it's going to stay attached and hold its weight and not bend or destroy the rest of it. So I'm having I mean, there's nobody really to ask, like, what do I do here? Like, nobody knows, it's like something that's like experimental, and I could do all the work and it could be beautiful, and I put it up on the wall and it falls apart. So I don't know. Like, they've kind of asked me to craggle it, and I don't, I hate doing that. I don't really want to. Part of my art is the idea that it all comes back apart. So
right,
I'm in a weird spot trying to maybe glue some of it and not all of it, and I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Well, I hope it works. I believe in you.
Oh, thank you.
And I think it's just gonna be awesome. How's that?
That is the that is what I've come to expect from you, is positive love and affirmation, and I love it, and that's why I get along with you so well. So I'm like, thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad to be talking to you. It's been too long. I'm so glad you saw the email and popped in.
Well, I popped on this morning when I got up. I popped on. I saw Flynn was on, and I was like, I want to have breakfast, and I want to do other stuff. He'll be on later, so I'll pop in later. So
yeah, no, it's actually been a nice little stream of people. Who came on? Dave Morgan came on first, and then Moto came on.
Moto is. I love that when somebody said Moto is a Lego celebrity. He's like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, yes, you are. He's like, he is really just like became. I don't know. He's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
He's very active.
Yeah, he really made. I feel like he just really made a splash this year.
Yeah.
In the online community.
Especially with his builds are giant and incredible and beautiful, and I'm like, with having a family, I don't understand how he produces so much. I'm like, wow, dude, like, how are you so active in this?
Well, he must be like me and just doesn't sleep.
Well, that's probably true. I mean, you built your daughter's Halloween costumes and everything. I'm like, what? Like, so amazing. They look so good too. They look so good.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. We had a lot of fun with that.
I love that they chose such a non-traditional Halloween. Like, we want to be Hamilton. Like, what? Like,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I was really pleased with it. So Jordy, my 9-year-old, she is really into, well, they're both really into the music from Hamilton. And they got into it because their cousin is like 14. So, you know, that really just hits squarely in like super popular stuff for cousin, right?
Yeah, totally.
And then so Jordy and Charlie are just like fell in love with the music because of their cousin, and they'll do little songs where they'll be the Schuyler sisters, and the cousin will be the oldest, or at least the tallest. And then Jordy will be the one in the middle, and that's the one that actually marries Alexander Hamilton. And then Charlie will be the youngest. But so their cousin and Jordy were planning for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks on being the two older Schuyler sisters. And so then it was like Charlie was like, well, maybe she would be a Schuyler sister too, but I don't think she really wanted to be the third Schuyler sister because the third Schuyler sister doesn't really have very big a part in the musical.
Yeah.
So then I think she was like, well, I'll be Hamilton because he's the star of the musical.
Smart kid.
And so it yeah, it went well.
Well, I love that it's like what you were saying about their older cousin. I worked in toys, like, you know, that for like 20 years, and we learned like kids are aspirational. So if you make a toy for a 3-year-old, you have to put a kid who's like 6 years old on the package. Because if you put a kid who's 3 years old, the 3-year-old who sees it, who wants to be older, who wants to feel more mature, wants to feel like their older sister or their older cousin, they won't buy it because they think it's for a baby. So you have to, like, whatever the older kids are doing is what the younger kids want to do. So you have to advertise to the aspiration of older. So I love that older cousin.
Yeah, and
like,
it's actually kind of
younger kids are like, I want to be that too, because that's cool.
It's kind of funny too to look at some of the products that are just like, you know, like some companies do a really good job at, you know, doing exactly what you're describing, but in a way that like makes it seem natural.
Yeah.
And some companies, I don't know if they just like overshoot or what, but like you look at this kid on the box for this toy and it's like, okay.
That 12-year-old is not playing with Barbie. It's not happening.
That's just absurd. But I totally, you know, I know why they do it. It makes perfect sense. And it's totally real too. It's like kids want to do
what the older kid is doing.
Yep.
We fight our whole childhoods wanting to be older and be able to do stuff on our own. And then you get older and you're like, oh, I don't want to be old. I want to be young again.
Yeah. Isn't that strange?
Youth is wasted on the youth. Youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah. Well, I've got to find 2 1x1 plates in dark green, and I'm pretty sure that they're probably just going to be somewhere over here in this giant bin of tan. And I'm trying to decide how much I want to like be really true, like down to the individual part on my design, or if I'm okay with like skipping stuff and coming back to it later, or if I'm even going to remember if I do that, you know. It's hard for me to decide.
And you haven't used any parts besides the ones that were in the original set, right?
That is accurate. Yeah, that was definitely my goal, is that this would be a true alternate build, that you would not need any parts. Oh, I just found one.
Ding, ding.
And I think it's like there's like 2 of this part in this set. So, oh, no, I just found 2 more, which means that there must be more. But I only need 2 for this part, so I can move on now. Where does that go? Oh, yep, covers that up right there. That's cool. Good idea, Ben.
Good
Sometimes,
idea.
sometimes I was talking a little bit earlier in the stream about how sometimes you can, you know, when you design something and then you come back to it later and you're like, why did I do that? And then eventually you sort of are able to remember, like, oh yeah, I did that because it makes sense for this reason. But it's so funny how we can be like almost. And maybe I shouldn't speak for we, but
You
as
can
a,
speak for me.
I guess like how it's like you can sort of be like outside yourself in some different aspects of the creative process, you know.
Oh, for sure.
With like you can be like so in like X mode, right?
Yeah.
For whatever phase of whatever you're doing. Oh, I get to put the planking on the bridge now.
Yay. The design is just so beautiful, like the little mountain it's on and the bridge that goes across to it. I saw that first. I'm like, oh, is this a new model? And then I'm like, oh no, it's like I read the description. I'm like, oh, it's an alternative build. I see. But I was like so impressed with it.
Thank you.
I think Lego should. I mean, does Lego do that for? I mean, I guess they do for a few where they have alternate builds on their website. But this is an incredible one. They should put it on there. They should pay you for it.
Well, thanks. Well, I'm trying to. I feel like I'm missing whole batches of parts, and I'm not sure why that is because. Oh, wait, is that it? Oh, never mind, just found it. It's hiding. A little bag of dark gray plates was hiding behind a big bag of sloped bricks.
The
Okay,
inside of that
there's that.
Colosseum is so gorgeous.
Yeah, it really is. They did an amazing job.
The angles.
And I think the repetitive nature of the build could be really pleasant to some people, but I think other people might find it just like too repetitive, you know.
Well, sometimes that's very some days that's very calming and meditative, where you're just doing the same thing over and over again, and you kind of like that's what you need. And like sometimes, like you were saying before, like this project I'm working on now, like I'll start and it feels very frustrating at first, and then I put music on and I start getting into a flow, and all of a sudden I'm building things. I'm like, wow, how did I build that? Like, how did I think of that? Like, how did that fit together? I wasn't expecting that. And it's like sometimes you just shock yourself with what you can do. I mean, that was every week on the show.
Yeah.
I think that was every single week on the show where you're like, can't believe I did that. I can't believe that came out of my head. And how did I think of that without instructions? Like, what? Like,
Nicholas Wood says, "What's up, Boone? How goes your Friday? You too, Sam. We met briefly at Bricks Cascade.
Hi, Nicholas.
Who's out here near me.
Bricks Cascade is the best. It felt like
we had so much fun. I'm so glad you got to come. I'm so glad so much.
This year?
They're not. I think they're gonna try to do like a smaller event later in the year, just to have something between. You know, like something between 2020 and 2022.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there's not officially going to be like the full-on Bricks Cascade.
Yeah, it's very sad. Like all the conventions for a whole year and a half, like gone, and
I know.
Especially when right now too. Especially like I know a lot of people applying and auditioning for season 2 right now.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Me
Have
too.
you
I think we'll know a lot of people on there in the end.
I think so too. Yeah. I had a chance to talk with Matt on my. Do you remember Matt? Nakamura.
Yeah.
He was on my live stream
Yeah, I saw that.
last Thursday. We had a good chat about. Okay, now I just feel like I'm going crazy. Is this in here? There's got to be 2x plates. I'm running on so little sleep that when I. Okay, here we go.
It's hard to concentrate. I get it.
Ooh, I'm so excited. I'm moving on to like the sort of the platform on the top of this thing. This is so exciting. Well, I can't wait to see what you're building. I hope you'll get to share it with us eventually, huh?
Hopefully by the end of the month. Hopefully by
Good.
Thanksgiving. So we'll see. I wish I had done. I don't know. No matter how much you plan, I always wish I'd planned more, because it can be very frustrating when you're like, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I really need to get into digital designer or one of those systems, but I just, you know me, I hate looking at the computer all day, so it's very frustrating for me because I don't want to do it. So.
Yeah. Well, I just came across something that I don't think they would have done in an official set, but I'm gonna choose to be okay with it. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. A 2x8 spans a 6-stud long gap, and it's not terrible. And all that needs to go on top of it is like a tile for show.
Well, the tile will make it sturdier too, so that's good.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be okay. I'm a little bummed out that sometimes I don't know how I didn't catch that. There are other places in this model that I was very intentional not to leave that big of a stretch. So I don't know. Maybe I intended to get back to it and I just didn't, or maybe I really was ignoring it or something. But
I love that you sorted out all your pieces so you have them all together. Like, these are my 2x10 pieces, and
yeah, except that's what this let's see, can I show this over here? If I go over here just a little bit, this big bin, the whole like bottom inch or two of this bin is unsorted. Ooh. Because I just completely.
Wait, go back. What are those green things in the middle, like the big square? Are those like the same ones they're using on the those are the ones they're using for the art projects, right? The black ones they're using for the art, like wall art?
Yep.
So that's a new piece. Like, it's.
And there's 10 in this set.
Wow. I mean, you get 9 in a piece of art, right? You get 9 of them in a regular, like the Marilyn Monroe or the Beatles ones.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Or is it? It's not just 4, is it?
Well,
what is it?
I think it's 9 because I think aren't they like 16 studs?
Yeah.
So it makes 48. Yeah, that's the right. That's 3.
Yeah,
3
48 by 48.
9 pieces. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. I don't have. I've never had access to any of those. So.
Well, I haven't touched one yet, but I've watched people build them, and like for me, I just do them on a base plate, so that's like that. So I don't have because those pieces have never been available before. So it's hello, Legend of Leo. Oh, I love the kitty.
Legend of Leo says hi. Larry Legond says watching 2 streams simultaneously. Nice. It's been so much fun to watch the people. Like, we've had about the same number of viewers for the last 3 hours, but
they go in and out.
There's been like some turnover, so it's fun to see the people that come in that weren't here at the beginning of the stream, and some people are back.
Um, we're both making a Lego scooping sounds now. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yours doesn't bother me. I've been hoping that mine isn't too loud. People in the chat said that it was not terrible, so hopefully that's true. Not that I think my viewers would lie to me, just that they might be being nice.
But there's also the like they're watching Lego being built, so they're kind of expecting that sound a little bit, I would guess.
Sure. Okay. Let's see, that better be in
I
here.
got a Hidden Side set on sale yesterday, so I was like, I'm gonna have to build that sometime.
What is it?
The roller coaster one.
Oh, okay.
It was like $15 off what it usually is, and I had a $5 coupon, so I'm like, I'm gonna buy that one. $20 off of a $45 set or $50 set. That's pretty good.
Cool.
I just thought the minifigs were cute too, so I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Where'd you find it?
At Target. They opened a new Target just
I miss
a few blocks from me, so it's the closest I've ever been to a Target. It's very dangerous.
Oh yeah.
It's easy to go there.
I don't know if when we were all at Lego Masters, I don't know if we went anywhere as many times as we went to Target.
Or the Lego store.
Because but even the Lego store, you gotta remember, every time we went to the Lego store at what was that place? At the Galleria.
Yeah, Galleria.
We also went to Target.
Well, that's true. That's true. And we went to Target on other occasions, like besides.
Right. That wasn't the only Target we went to. We also went to. You know what? I want to change this. Man, I should have been making notes of the changes I wanted to make. I'll just have to try to remember them. I think that's what I want to do. I think that makes more sense and gives my outer wall more stability. So the inspiration for the angled walls, which don't exist yet as I'm building. Oh, but I'm feeling so good about how far I'm going to get. I'm going to stop at 10, but I am going to get to the point where this thing is oh, maybe that's why I did that. Never mind. I should have back. I'm gonna have oh, go ahead.
No, because I've done it before too. Like, why did I do that? That looks so stupid. And then you start taking it apart and fixing it how you think it should be now. And then you get to a spot where you're like, oh no, now I know why I did that because of this problem. And you're solving it twice. You solve the same problem twice. And I do it all the time where I'm like, this works, and then no, this doesn't work.
But I'm actually gonna finish in this part, like the pedestal, the whole base will be done, which I'm very pleased about, because I don't know, I had lofty dreams of getting this build done today, but and I knew I was gonna have to do it in a couple sittings, even if I got it all done today. I do not think I'm going to get it done today based on how far I've come. And I did not get the rest that I would have hoped to get before starting this.
The rest that I desperately needed.
See, a 2x plate stretching over 4 gap is like totally fine. But
yeah, for sure.
Stretching over 6 is a little pushing it a little bit, but I think in this case, it's not really structural. I think it's going to be okay.
Nobody's standing on it.
Oh, this is so exciting. Let's see. Do I have... That goes over there. It was building building from a predetermined set of parts was a really interesting experience. And it led me to all kinds of weird little things that I never would have done otherwise, but like are totally fine. And it makes me like, I don't know, empathize with the people whose job it is to like make those 3-in-1 sets, you know?
Oh yeah. I've done one of those
Okay, where
before
would that
for
be?
someone as a commission, and it's frustrating and empowering at the same time, where you're like, okay, I have to solve this problem in a different way, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's I don't know the word I can't think of the word, but yeah, it's like you get so frustrated, and then you solve the problem and you feel so elated, like, oh, I would have never thought to do that, but thank God I thought of it now.
Right. Okay, let's see. In this set, there exist only 2. What are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2x12s in tan. And I need both right now, and that's a 10. And surely I'm gonna find. Hey, I did it! I figured I would end up finding like all the 10s before I actually put my eyes on the 12, but I found them fairly quickly.
The weirdest thing about Lego is like when you want it to come up, or when you don't want it to break, it breaks. And when you want it to come apart, you try and try and try, and it doesn't come apart until everything destroys. Like, not just the part you want, but all of it falls apart. You're like, come on, I just wanted this one piece to pop off. So frustrating.
Okay, that's weird because I've never really thought about that, but you're exactly right. And you know what? It almost reminds me of I saw this meme the other day that was like it showed someone plugging in a USB cord, and
under the bed.
On the top it's like no, and then they turn it around, and on the second time it's like no, and then they turn it around to the way it was originally, and it's like ding.
Oh yeah. That's. Have you seen the one about the guy plugging the cord under the bed, like he's trying to plug it in, and the light switch, you can't find it. You're like sitting there trying to plug, and then you feel with your finger to feel where the exact slot is, and you go, okay, this is where the exact slot is. You get them lined up, and you push it. It still doesn't go. And finally, you look and you do it first try, but it's like you just couldn't do it without looking at the plug, no matter what. I love that.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one, but I totally get that. I feel like I do that all the time, and it's like, all right, I'm just gonna touch this outlet until I figure it out. And it's so strange how, your brain interprets like what your hands are feeling. We're doing that stuff all the time without thinking about it, right? And then
yes.
Then it's like when you need, it's almost like when you need to, I don't know, like when you need it, it's like too hard to do. But almost like I wonder if is it harder because you're thinking about it,
That's very possible too. That's very possible.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of digging. Oh, I just found one. How many do I need?
I hate when you solve
1, 2,
one
3.
problem, and by solving that problem, you create another problem. So you have to fix the next spot over.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally know what you mean.
I'm feeling very frustrated right now.
I feel like I see things, I was talking to Mike Psyche the other day about the new Ecto 1. And he was talking about how in the design for that, there were a number of things that were sort of like he had to find creative ways to do something, but then, that as soon as you do it, it poses another problem that you then have to solve. But I think he kind of described having a lot of like serendipitous, positive things about that build. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. All right. I love these little things. Each section of the Colosseum had a few of these 2x2 round plates, just sort of like in the core of them. Not the core. I mean, it was like just enough to give a little bit of, different texture as opposed to having like just plates with like plates among other plates.
Yeah.
And because all of those sections were the same, and there's like 40 sections, well, there ends up being, like just some crazy multiples of some of the parts. And there's no other, there are no like 2x2 round bricks in this set, but there were enough 2x2 round plates in the same color that I was able to use them as sort of like round pillar-esque type things in a couple different spots on this castle. And I think having the visual texture of just the slight gap between each one is not bad in this case. Like it's almost even more uniform, kind of like consistently uniform than having stacked 2x2 bricks would be.
Yeah.
Okay, where are my
I just took something apart with my teeth, so I went to the chat to see if anybody was going to yell at me, but they didn't. So yay!
And then you announced it.
Yeah, like because I did that when we were filming. I would do that quite often. I'd be like trying to get something apart. I'd pull my teeth, and I'd look at the camera guy by us. And I'd say, "Don't try that at home. Don't do that at home." But we all do it because sometimes you just can't get a piece apart. And you're like, "Okay, there, got it."
Yeah, I think I'll go at it with my fingernails for a long time before giving up. I think I something about getting like I got my childhood Lego pieces, as an adult.
Yeah.
Sort of when my folks were clearing out like their house to move or something like that. And as I was going back through them, and I was like, man, a lot of these have teeth marks on them. And I was like, I don't really remember using my teeth that much, but I must have, because there's teeth marks all over these things. So I think something about that, I sort of.
I've got to go.
Stop.
I love you. I'm having a phone call right now. Sorry. Bye.
Have such a great day. Bye-bye. Thanks for stopping by.
Hello.
Oh man, so much fun. What's going on here? How did this end up being fewer than I thought? Okay, because I didn't put enough gaps between them. Okay, so I'm really pleased with where I'm at. I know I've got so much more to do on this build, but the fact that I'm getting as far as having this whole pedestal of rock done is making me really happy. It's about 9:38. I'm going to build for about 20 more minutes, and then I'm going to go check out Flynn and Richard's stream, and I'll drop the link to their stream here in the live chat before I take off. We got a few more minutes here. I feel like having my friends in the chat really brings me energy, even with as little sleep as I got last night. Oh, Choops says old parts were tougher to get apart, thicker sidewalls, and did not have chamfers like parts do today. Huh. Interesting, yeah. Could be. So maybe when I was a kid, I had to use my teeth. Larry said, teeth marks, don't give Lego to kids. And then he said, just kidding, sort of. Nice. Good one. How much is this set? Brickman Mosaic Arts says, how much is this set at Boone Builds? It is in the United States going to be $550, which I don't know how that compares to the previous largest set by parts count. It's hard for me to know, like, who is this set going to be the most popular among, or among whom will this set be most popular? I know some AFOLs are going to love it. There's some really interesting geometry in it. There's a lot of techniques to learn from it. But I don't know, that's like almost half my mortgage for a month. So, you know, of course, it has more pieces than any other set in the history of the LEGO catalog. All right, let's see, folks. Maybe you can kind of see up there on the screen. It's pretty much where I am. I'm gonna see, what should I start working on? Oh, this will be fun. Yeah, I'll do this. Okay. How many more of those? 4. I need a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me see if I can come over here to the bin and find 7 1x4 tiles in dark tan. I just found 1. I need 6 more. It'd be really cool if there was a camera over here that oh, you know what would be really rad is if I could get my Osmo to act as a webcam, and then it would follow me over here when I walk over here. I gotta see if that's possible. I don't know if using the Osmo Mobile as a webcam is something that camera is designed to do or not. So it knows how to follow. Okay, let's see. Man, I would love to have the tile done on the top of this pedestal before I finish today. I don't know. If I have to keep looking for parts, it might not happen. All right, I'm up to 4. And I said I need 7. I'm up to 5. Just 2 more. 2 more. Okay, maybe there's more down here. Oh, I just found 1 more down here. So that's 6. I only need to find one more. Does not appear to be in this pile. Must be in here. I have all my green tiles separated out, so I feel like if I can get this 1 dark tan tile, if I can find it, it very well could be the last one in this entire set. I just found it. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to see if I can cruise right along here on the tile of the. So this is sort of like the main wall around the castle will sort of follow the outline of the rock here. So most of the inside, the green you see here is actually the inside of the center building. So all of this tan around here is going to get covered with green tile and plates, and that's going to be like grass pathways around the inside of the castle. There's that. One of these. And just crank out all of these 1x4s. There, 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 and then there, and Wait, that doesn't seem right. Okay, I need one more space over there. There. And there. Cool. Yeah. Jake said, I think it's aimed at your Joshua Hanlon types. Yeah, sure. The history buffs. This is ancient history. This is. Who in the chat knows when the Roman Colosseum was built? Anyone? Anyone? Let's see. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. You better not look it up. Okay, now I'm short a couple of 1x3s. I just need two 1x3 tiles. Yeah, I just found another 1x4. Oh my goodness, you guys! I was looking at all that time I spent looking for 1x4s, and I just found two. Isn't that wild? It's like as soon as you start looking for something else, you start finding the thing that you were looking for before. But I didn't do too bad. I didn't take too long to find two 1x3s. One goes right there. The other goes right there. Now I can crack into my green tiles, which I have set aside right around here somewhere. And this is going to be fun to start to see the grass detail go in around here. There's that. One there and one there. That's strangely symmetrical. Then you get here, boom. And then down here, there's going to be one there, and there's going to be one. Look, I know where these are, so I can actually start cranking them out. One there. Okay, then there's going to be one. Let's see, right there, and over here. One that direction. We got a 6 here. A 6 here. 2 6s over here on this side. Right there. And right there. Okay. Now I need a few plates. Where are those plates? Dark green. There. One of these goes right in here. This is fun. See, this is what I imagined when I know where the pieces are that I want to use, and I can just start popping them into place. Things start taking shape. Don't need any more of those. How about that? Okay. Keep plugging away on green. Oh, I need another 1x2 in olive. Okay, what have I done? I've done something wrong. This. Darn. Wait. Yeah. So then this goes there. This goes there. That goes here. What time is it? 9:49. I don't think I'm gonna finish this grass, but I feel really good about how far I got. But I'm gonna keep plugging away. Keep plugging away. There. Then I need 2 dark tan 1x2 plates. Boy, that was easy. There they are. Like that. Cool. And then what else we got here? That's good. That's all good. I need black tiles. Where are my black tiles? You guys talking about jets? It's 12:49 in Georgia. Seems like you guys must be talking about jets in the chat. I can tell off-brand pieces because they burn my hands like holy water on a vampire, says Moto. You know, it's really interesting. There were a few tan arch bricks in this set that seemed like they had the coloring of a lower quality off-brand brick. And it was only a few, but it kind of caught me off guard. It was like that, I don't know, you know how like the Mega are like, just seem a little bit more sort of like opaque? Like it's like a cheaper version of plastic. I mean like semi-opaque. And I came across a couple of arches in this official Lego set, and they did have the Lego logo. They just seemed like not quite up to snuff. I thought it was strange, and even holding them next to, you know, most of the others from the very same set, it seemed just a little off. I don't know what that's about, but I guess it is what it is. Okay, now I have too much of a mess here. I need to turn this, and I don't even have any room. Solo Brick, hey. Luis is here. How are you? Good to see you all. Spot the Magic Ninja. Okay. Cool. See, I just want to dump these out, but then I end up with a big mess like this. I'm doing it. I'm doing it anyway. We're almost done. We're almost done with this session. So I would rather make a mess and just get some serious work cranked out here. Boom. Boom. There's another one for you. Boom. And there's one. There we go. We need some plates in here. Do a little tan. Sorry, not tan, but olive. I love this olive color. Such a nice color. I didn't used to like it as much as I do now, but I really love it now. I don't know what caused that change in me. Probably just having a lot of it in this set and working with it and growing to appreciate it, maybe. Okay, that's a jumper. Got just a little bit of texture in the grass area on the inner courtyard in this set, and you know, my intention behind that is twofold. It allowed me to stretch out the tile a bit. You know, I could cover a little bit more area than I could with tile alone by interspersing a few plates around. Another thing is, you know, it just adds a little bit of texture. It's kind of like, you know, it's not just a, it's not a tile floor. It's intended to be grass. But of course, it can be low grass. Can be, tile looks pretty good down here. But just that every now and then, I don't know. That could be stud could represent a little patch of crabgrass cropping up there or something. I don't know. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. It can be whatever you like. All right. Is that a 1x2? I'm going to run out of these 1x2 gray tiles. I mean, I know that like I built the mock using the exact number of pieces that exist in the set. So I know that I will have enough of everything. But it's still a little bit nerve-wracking to know that I've got a bunch unsorted and that at any moment in time I could run into a situation where I have not enough of something in the next step. 55. Maybe we can do it. Maybe I can get to the point where the grass is done on this thing. That would be really rad. Maybe I'll go just a few minutes past the hour. I don't want to draw away from Flynn and Richard's stream. So I'm just going to get as much as I can done in the next 5 minutes. And then we will say ta-ta for now. Let's see, this is going pretty well though. I mean, some of these areas I can really just cruise along once I see what I'm doing. I've already done the work of the designing. I don't have to reinvent anything here. It's just a matter of how readily accessible are the parts. And because this is primarily tile, and it was very easy when taking apart the Colosseum to sort out the green tile because it's all sort of concentrated into an early part of the build. So it was one of the last pieces of the build that I was taking apart. So it was easy just to set all of these green tiles aside. And now I'm cruising through here pretty quick. I think I'm going to make it, you guys. I'm just trying to get around here. So if you look, you can see the outer wall of the castle is going to be out around here. A little bit of this grass is going to bleed out to the outside of the castle walls. This big square in the middle is going to be the footprint of the inner building. And I'm trying to cover up these tan plates with green tiles. And I'm just getting right around here. And then I'm going to feel really good about what I've accomplished. Also, when I pick this up, this is like super sturdy. I'm really pleased about that. Okay. Here we go. Got to keep it up. What's happening here? This one goes here. Another one of these. Oh no, that's there. So then those are my 4s in gray. Getting close. Oh no, so close. Okay. What's next? I messed myself up by rotating too early. I thought my brain could handle it, but it can't right at this moment. Too much lack of sleep. Hey, I hope if you're here, I hope you've had fun. This has been so much fun for me this morning. The folks that have dropped by, everyone in the live chat, the people who have supported with super chats, you are all just so wonderful. And I can't thank you enough for the support. It's been really fun to hang out with you this morning. I'm just going to cruise right around the edge here. I've got one step left, and then I'm going to feel like it's time to stop. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Watch. Boom. That's going to go there. I put that in the wrong place by one stud. Ah. Okay. It's like I try to get going too fast and then I make mistakes. I will be coming back for a part 2 of this build. Let me know in the chat before we're done here. Would you like to see part 2 today, or would you prefer to come back for a part 2 on this build in a future day? I'm open to either. I may decide one way or the other. Someone says, "Get a nap, mister." Yeah, thank you. I will. Yeah, Larry, you too, man. Good hanging with you. Thank you. Appreciate it. So close to being done with this section. Because the thing that comes next after this grass, what I'll tell you, what I'll tease the beginning of the part 2, I'm going to start building the castle walls, the inner building and the outer walls of the castle. That's what's next. That's coming. That's the very next thing after the stuff that I'm working on right here. So you can look forward to that. We'll have fun with that. I'm flipping over. What does he say? I'm flipping over to Mod Tricky Bricks. Sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you, Moto. You're the man. Someone's hair is on here. Must be one of my daughters. There's that. Very close. Very close. Any input? Bretsky says, oh, y'all are so kind. I've got today, but if you need to rest, it's fine. I'll come back for part 2 whenever. Would love to see this mock come together. Getting very close. That's it, everybody. There it is. So this is the entire pedestal for Castello Fortificato. Castello Fortificato. And it is coming to you. This is my alternate build for the official LEGO Colosseum, which was just announced today. I'll show you one more time what I'm working on here. And if you've joined us recently, you can pop on over for part 2 when I am able to get around to a part 2. There it is. There it is. There's the castle. Thank you all so much. Thanks, Jake. Thanks, Bretsky. Thanks, Max. Thanks, Lego Builder. Thanks, Shanti. Thanks, Kavi. Thanks, Brickman Mosaic Arts. Spock the Magic Ninja. I want to thank everyone who has supported today. You are all incredible. I will come back for a part 2 of this live build of my alternate model for the LEGO Colosseum. Hopefully I'll be able to put it out there early enough for you all to get a notification. I don't know if it'll be today, but it will be very soon. I've got a couple more live streams planned this weekend. Mark is going to be here tomorrow, and Sunday I am going to be building the new LEGO 18 and up Ecto 1 from Ghostbusters. It's going to be awesome. I hope you all had fun today. Thank you for joining me. Until next time. Oh, wait a second. We got to go over to Tricky Bricks and put the link in the chat. Let's see. YouTube.com/TrickyBricks. Tricky Bricks. And they are going live. I'm going to copy. Is that now? Yeah, 30 watching. We'll go copy link address. I'm going to drop this in the chat right here. Paste. Chat. Head on over there to Tricky Bricks. You've all been awesome. Until next time, go build something amazing. And thank you for watching Boone Builds.